I still like the look. That's why I put my print over here so I can just glance up at the clock real quick and glance back down.
Good morning.
Yeah, what she said. He said.
I think it's a boy.
What it said.
I made it extra loud because it's Friday and it's exciting because it's Friday.
It is Friday. It is exciting. The weekend just around the bend. And ladies and gentlemen, despite the fact that it was a drumming, despite the fact that there were 8 runs scored in the very first inning, America was competitive baseball on television yesterday as spring training is underway, and the San Diego Padres, took on the LA Dodgers, dude. And we got to watch some actual baseball. It wasn't good. It wasn't good baseball at all, but it was real baseball nonetheless.
It's preseason though, right? Technically,
it's spring training.
Yeah, but it's.
We don't call it preseason in the baseball world, Lonzo.
Since everyone who listens to the show loves football and like dabbles in baseball, you got to put everything in football terms. It's like preseason.
Is my hairline receding? It looks real shaky on camera.
It's the
stream's up facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, search the Fan Upstate or the Rob Brown Show on YouTube or Twitch and you'll find it. But I can't tell if I went like too high on the wave.
You did. See, here's the thing. There's no way for us to judge it because that wave thing has been there forever and now it's nearly gone. I mean, it's like someone dropped a pebble in a river. It's that kind of wave. So there's no, I mean, that could have been that way all along, but the wave covered it.
I can't tell.
The wave kind of is a comb over. I mean, if you think about it a little bit.
I mean, it's not. It's absolutely not. A comb over is meant to cover something. I can say without question, I am not balding up on the top. I'm good. I'm good up in the dome, up in the crown region. I just can't tell if I'm LeBroning or not across the forehead, or if I just have a big ass forehead.
You're up pushing 40. So, I mean, things are going to move back. How was your dad's hairline? Was it?
It's maternal. It goes through your mom's dad.
Yeah, I've heard that. And
genetically.
I've heard that, but
the answer to how his hairline is I don't know.
Okay. All right. Because my papaw had a straight up landing strip right up the middle. And I mean, there was nothing up there. It was Lex Luthor like.
The horseshoe?
Yeah, which was fitting where we were. But yeah, I mean, just right, even though he was from Kentucky. But anyway, just right up the middle. So I've always heard that, and I've always been worried about that. And my hair has receded some, but I'm also, double nickels. So I mean,
I am having a mild existential crisis right now because, as I've said many times in my life, all my best assets are from my eyes up. I'm tall, I have good hair, and I'd like to think a decent brain, and that's really all I got going for me anymore.
But you're taken now. So I mean, it's I'm not saying let yourself go, but I mean
I have. I very clearly have.
I mean, you are I mean, you age together and things that you notice, maybe the other person doesn't notice as much. I mean, especially when that person is the reason why you had to cut your hair shorter. I'm just saying. So if they don't like, I mean, I'm giving you an angle here.
It's kind of your fault, honey.
I'm giving you an angle here. So if they don't like how things look up there, you can say, hey, if you let me grow my hair longer, people won't notice.
This isn't on her. I'm just saying, like, I've got, we got the camera. We can look at ourselves while we broadcast to the world. And it's not because we love
do it, Keegan.
Ourselves.
Keegan, do it. Please do it.
It's not because we love ourselves so much and we feel like we just have to look at ourselves. It's more along the lines of you got to make sure the stream's good, that the people are seeing a good product. Nobody's gonna check in on the stream and see a bunch of blur and say, let me stick around. You gotta have a good presentation to the world. And now I'm sitting here checking out the forehead, and I'm wondering if I have joined Team 5-Head and Peyton Manning on said squad. I don't want to be on that roster. I got good hair.
Listen, you're just on the stream, you're extra because they're looking at me. So, I mean, whatever you do, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, you could get away with just about anything. They're looking at me. They may glance your way every once in a while and go, oh, yeah, Rob's here.
Hang on.
I mean,
Let's go fix that. There we go. There we go. That's good. I'll put me in the little box.
You went diesel box.
There you go.
Way to go.
Put me in the diesel box since everybody's looking at Zoe.
Hey, this is what you guys wanted.
Yeah. This is why you're all here.
Listen, don't do that. Don't do that. It's bad. It just is.
All right.
It's not a good look.
We got a lot of show today, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, we have 4 hours of show today.
Wow. Four
whole hours. 3 hours and 15 minutes ish, because about 15 to 17 minutes of it is going to be spent playing back. I was gonna say I knew that was coming. I was gonna set it up.
Did you?
Yeah.
I just think you just hesitated. That's all.
Is going to be replaying our interview with WWE legend and I say this sincerely, I think the funniest man in the history of professional wrestling. That's a long list. There's a lot up there. Santina Morello's on that list.
You just missed an opportunity to play a cut.
This was on me. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, later on today, you will hear, you wrestling fans, I think, gonna be very, very happy. Later on today, you will hear our interview from yesterday with the legendary R-Truth. Could not be more jacked up about that. It was phenomenal, man. It was a blast. It was great.
It's one of those things you leave from work for the day and just every once in a while think, I just interviewed R-Truth. Man, that was fun. Because it was fun.
It was it would have been impossible.
What's up, man?
Not to have had fun with this guy. I mean, just a legend. And I think we can all say, and by all of us, I mean me and Lonzo, I think we can all say at this point, that dude is respectfully not a character on TV. That's just R-Truth.
That's just
who that cat is.
Even from the right before the interview started, we knew.
What's up, man?
Because of what happened right before the interview started is like, this is going to be fun.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. So you're going to hear from R-Truth, living legend, coming up at 9:20 this morning. We're very much looking forward to playing that for you. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about between here and there. Yesterday was the first spring training baseball game. As we mentioned just a few minutes ago, the Padres and the Lonzo.
We have quota, an agreed upon quota from,
That is an off-season quota. It is no longer off-season. It is preseason.
Do you really? Is it?
Yes.
Is it really? So that's what we're calling it now.
What do you mean what we're calling it? It's preseason.
You just got on me about calling it preseason. Now it's okay because you have a baseball show. You can call it whatever you want. That's what it is. Okay, fine.
It is spring training.
My loins have been tingling.
I am curious about people who are really into baseball like you. So do you get excited for spring training like preseason football?
Yes, I do. Spring training and preseason football, I will give you the stone cold's honest truth.
Hell yeah!
I get more excited for spring training than NFL preseason.
What?
I said I get more excited about spring training than NFL preseason.
What?
Let me tell you why.
What?
It is because
What?
in the NFL,
What?
you are watching to see what your backup team looks like.
What?
You are looking to see who your backup left guard is.
What?
You are looking to see if your backup right guard can effectively run the ISO pull.
All right, I'm gonna stop because no one looks for that. Maybe you do, but
You sick freak.
Okay, I'm a sick freak because I don't look to see if my left guard can do the ISO pull.
That's what the hell else do you watch in preseason NFL football? You get hype about the wins?
Well,
Hell yeah, our third string beat Detroit's third string.
I am
Super Bowl,
curious.
baby.
I am curious about who the next backup quarterback to win a Super Bowl ring is going to be. I look at that. I'm curious about that. Things like that.
So exactly what I said. Exactly what I said is the reason to watch
Except for
football.
linemen, man. No one looks at linemen. No one cares about linemen.
I do. Most important position on the field.
I'm being sarcastic.
You're a lineman, dog.
Yeah, I know. That was the point.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Okay, which one of us is the bad?
Right now, you.
Okay, that's fine. Good. Because I want to be and remain the heel of this entire station.
In the National Football League in preseason. Yes, I am X's and O's nerd.
All right.
Side, nerd.
All right. So Mike on the stream. So you're betting on preseason baseball?
I did.
Wow.
I did.
Doesn't this kind of get in the lane of maybe
Degeneracy?
maybe a
Full-blown
problem?
Degeneracy?
There's like a 1-800 number out there you should call. I mean,
Alonzo?
I'm just saying.
It's only a problem if you're losing.
Okay. All right. Did you win?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Good for you.
Dodgers minus.
You don't have to eat nuggets or anything.
Dodgers minus 1.5, easy cash. There was no question they were winning that. Now, I'm not going to bet them in game 2, but I think game 1, getting all the juice out there. The team's good. I'm going to go ahead and spoiler alert you this too. I'm going to hammer the Braves minus 1.5 in their opening spring game contest as well. All that pent up spring training energy. That's where it's going to be at. When I watch the NFL's preseason, I'm going to finish this thought. When I watch the NFL's preseason, I am watching X's and O's guy, right? I am watching what the backup left guard is. I'm watching what the third string linebackers are doing. I need to know who my depth guys are. I need to know who my what style of play best suits my backup safety. I need to know who my special teams aces are going to be. Now, I need to know that.
Then
in case
don't
things
watch the
go-
Panthers at all.
in case things go sideways, I can bring, hey, Dave Canellis. It's Rob Brown from the Fan Upstate. That's how I talk on the phone. And I can say, Dave, I noticed that on the second series of the third quarter, that your right cornerback dropped off into a cover 2, but the hips didn't get open when the receiver got up to him. The hips stayed closed about 2 steps too long. That's why he got roasted. I don't know if you saw this or not. I think you need to work on that. I think you need to coach him up. Get him to sink the hips and get turned as soon as the wide receiver's on playing with him. I need those hips. Swoop, snap them around. Get down the field with him, right? I need to be able to call Dave. Hey, Dave.
Surprised you don't call him Davey Boy.
We're not there yet. We just got to first name basis. Hey, Dave, I need you to work on this. With spring training baseball, those things are still true, but it's baseball. And the majority of the teams, even if it's only for 3 or 4 innings, are trotting out starting lineups. You can get a much better feel about who's hot with the bat, who's flashing the leather. Which of these guys are
What? Flashing the leather?
flashing the leather?
What's that mean?
Good defensive plays. Your gloves made of leather. Flash that leather.
Okay, all
It's
right.
a baseball term.
It's not a Rob Brown term. It's a baseball term.
Correct.
Because I've never heard it before.
Correct.
But,
Literally,
you know.
if you watch the baseball segments on ESPN, which I can tell you don't, their great defensive plays are labeled as flashing leather.
Yeah, I usually have to tie my shoes or something.
Yeah,
So,
brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Again. I get
You
it.
gotta keep them clean, you know.
So I love preseason baseball. Scratch that. Spring training baseball. I did watch it
Is it
yesterday.
Grapefruit League yet? Or does that happen
Grapefruit League,
after?
Cactus League. No, that's what, those are the spring training leagues. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So they go to places where it's warm.
Correct.
And then kind of play baseball.
Most of them down in Florida or over in like Arizona / Southern California. The Grapefruit League is based out of Florida. It includes Atlanta, Baltimore, Boston, Detroit, Houston, Miami, Minnesota, the Mets, the Yanks, Philly, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Washington. Everybody else is in the Cactus League. You learned something new today.
So it's not, NL here and
Correct.
AL.
It's all
Okay.
mixed up.
All right.
Cactus League teams: Arizona, Chicago Cubs, and White Sox, the Cincinnati Reds, the Cleveland Guardians, the Brew Crew of Milwaukee, the LA Dodgers, the LA Angels, the Kansas City Royals, the Colorado Rockies, the Oakland A's, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, and the Rangers are all in the Cactus League. That is out in Arizona.
What team do you pay for? Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians.
Guardians.
The Guardians.
Still don't. It doesn't sound right, and I haven't looked to see what their logo is. I'm just.
It's a baseball that's flying with a block C in the middle of it.
Okay, how's that? What's it a guardian of?
So the Guardians are nicknamed after a bridge in Cleveland. They are named after a bridge. The team's name references the Guardians of Traffic, 8 monolithic 1932 Art Deco sculptures by Henry Herring on the city's Hope Memorial Bridge, which is adjacent to Progressive Field.
Wait, Henry
The team's
Herring.
mascot is named Slider because reasons. I am going to say the statues, though, are kind of dope. Like the statues they're named after are kind of legit. They're very dwarven Skyrim, like over the top. I don't hate them. Here, I'll put one up on the stream just for the heads up. So this is why you got to join us on the stream. You never know what's going to pop up. Let's go. Here is the Guardian of Traffic. Let me take the thing down there. It's not bad, to be honest with you.
Wow.
It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I kind of don't hate it.
It's got depth to it, but
I also, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, this thing's like 5 feet tall, isn't it? It looks like some grand Listen, if this was like a 130-foot tall sculpture that dominated the skyline, I'd be like, all right, I get it.
it's the Stonehenge from Spinal Tap.
But that rail in front of them rail's like a hip high railing, which means that this thing is like 2 people tall. That's not tall enough to name your team after. It's just not. That's tall enough to name a minor league team after. That's not tall enough to name a whole ass MLB team after.
It's at least 20 feet tall. It is, because you say that's a railing. Railings over a bridge are going to be probably chest high because they don't want people, falling over it accidentally. So, I mean, and that was at least 4 to 5 times more than that. Am I killing the joke? I'm just saying
No, you're not killing the joke. You're creating a world in which I have to go YouTube a dumbass statue in Cleveland, Ohio to find out how tall it is.
Well, just call the Miz. I'll tell you.
We should have the Miz on one day.
I don't know if we can. I don't know if this room is big enough for the Miz.
Let's see. Where's the statue? No, that's not it. Son of a gun. They got a whole thing about the bridge and nothing about
James
the
says it's 43 foot tall.
Get out. No, it's not. There's no way.
I'm telling you, if you look at the railing and you times that by, however many.
That railing ain't 10 feet tall.
The railing is probably at least 5.5 feet tall. They're not going to put a railing on the bridge shorter than a car if cars go across that bridge. And if it's a walking bridge, it's going to be even taller so people don't accidentally, look, I'm taking a selfie, and they just fall backwards over it.
How tall is the Guardian of Traffic This is compelling radio.
Guardian of Traffic.
James was right. The statues have stood on either side of the bridge, protecting all who passed between them since the early 30s. Henry Herring carved each piece out of a 43-foot tall sandstone slab. Well, all right. Now I like the name. Now I like the name. Shut up. Now I like it.
Yeah, I don't.
I like it now.
Guardians of Traffic.
Now I like it. It is okay. And I mean, when you say the whole name, it sounds worse. They should just call the statues Guardians. That's kind of dope. A 43-foot tall statue defending the gates of your city is some medieval stuff, man. I'm all in for that.
And now playing for your Cleveland Guardians of Traffic.
I bet that's why they didn't go with the full name.
Left field, Rob Brown.
Now I want to do the whole intro. All right, that's enough. That's enough Guardians of Traffic.
Guardians of Traffic.
This should not have taken as long as it does. This should not have been a feature of the
Hey,
show.
I don't know if you knew this, but it's Friday, and we have educated the masses who did not know how tall the Guardians of Traffic were. You know, they're out in traffic now going to work, and they're wishing, why don't we have Guardians of Traffic?
Okay, I'm looking at another picture of it. I think the slabs may have been 43 feet tall. I don't think these things are 43 feet tall. Like, I'm looking at another picture of it. Well, maybe there are. There's a picture of it.
Bro, you have no
I'm
depth
done.
perception,
Stop.
bro.
Stop. No more Guardians of Traffic talk. That's enough. That's too much Cleveland in one segment. That's too much Cleveland for one show. With all due respect to Cleveland, you don't have any time on the show.
Yeah, but Cleveland rocks.
You have for some reason the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for some reason, and that's it. That's it.
Well, the heart of rock and roll is still beating. It's in Cleveland.
It's not in Cleveland. No one has ever thought rock and roll, dude, and thought Cleveland. It's never happened.
So your band wouldn't play Cleveland?
Is there a band called Cleveland?
No, your band wouldn't play in Cleveland.
We would, but I would spend the whole time on the mic going, hey, I'd like to thank like the 7th most important rock and roll city in America for being here tonight.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
It'd be a big crowd, and you'd be trying to make some money.
I'm done talking about Cleveland. I'm done. We're banning Cleveland from the rest of this show. No more Cleveland talk.
Unless you want to talk Cleveland, text line 71307.
Do not text me about Cleveland. I don't want Cleveland stats, facts, figures, trivia. I don't want any more Cleveland. Cleveland's gotten 9 minutes on the show. That's 8.5 too many minutes for Cleveland.
By the way, make sure you put fan in front of it when you text Cleveland, but also text Cleveland without fan so that Tara can deal with a bunch of Cleveland also.
Rudy Poo Candy Ass.
He's talking about me, not about Tara.
Very
so
cool. Very clear.
Let me clarify
Very
that.
clearly. If there was one person in this building I would not say that about, it's that young lady. All right? So let's do this. Let's run to a break. Coming up on the show today, we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about Major League Baseball players' pants. That's the thing we have to talk about today. I don't want to spend time talking about Major League Baseball players' pants.
Oh, wow.
But we have to talk about Major League Baseball players' pants.
Yeehaw!
All right, you're being a little weird with it now. All right, you're getting a little weird with it. So we got that coming up later on in the radio broadcast. We've got, what else do we have to get to? We got Daytona, which means we're transitioning to Atlanta. Antonio Pierce said the Raiders will have, they'll be channeling the bad boy Pistons when they see Patrick next year. I'm all in for that. Let's have some fun. It's Friday. We get weird on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Like I'm always trying to attract more female fans. The Rob Brown Show loves the ladies.
So with the hairline now, I mean,
I hate you.
If you let it grow back out,
I hate you
I'm just
so much.
saying, if you let it grow back out, they won't notice. $57 Sunday. Let's go ahead and turn that page to 70. Could we? Let's just go ahead and start hitting 70 during the day. In the morning, early morning. It's in the commercial. He was sprinting.
Why is that in the commercial?
Because have you sprinted lately? What's it make?
I don't go, when I sprint.
You might if you pull a hammy.
Thank you for being a friend.
Wow, Corey Graves just posted something 5 hours ago. Very, very profound.
Are you going to enlighten us?
It's poetic and you know, he described what the wrestling ring is. And it was awesome. Maybe Carmelo wrote it for him. I don't know, but it's really awesome.
AmericanEagle.com is architecting P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world.
I don't understand the pants thing. Should I look that up? The baseball pants?
They're see-through.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm definitely not looking it up.
Well, nobody's going full hang underneath
Well,
their
that's
baseball
not
pants.
that's how you said it. Made it sound. Come to full Monty night at Met Stadium. I don't know. No. Oh no. I gotta kill that.
I agree.
Come on, dude. You didn't hear that?
All right, well, while we're being ridiculous to open the show, I guess we might as well get to this. Mainly because Lonzo's so excited about it. Major League Baseball players have been complaining at length, and dare I say rightfully so, about the uniforms that have been assigned to them this baseball season. Major League Baseball this year will have Nike uniforms that are produced by Fanatics. Now, at this point, I'm assuming most of you know who Fanatics are. Fanatics is an apparel company that has, over the years, gotten the licensing to most big-time sports.
Do you have any Fanatics stuff?
I think I have a hat.
I think I have a couple of jerseys. I think might have been from Fanatics. I'm not sure.
I think so far, I think all I have is a hat. I don't think I have anything more than a hat yet. And now that this is happening, I suspect that at least for the time being, I'm going to keep it that way. The baseball players have been complaining for the past couple of weeks about these new jerseys. They say that they are cheap, they look like knockoffs, etc., etc. And I think a lot of us initially went, all right, guys, like, relax. They're new, they're different. How bad can they be? And the answer is very. The answer is very bad.
They look like yoga pants.
Oh, I'm not even to the pants yet.
Oh, okay.
The jerseys are bad. The jerseys are very thin. Now, baseball said that they are performance quality. That is to say, they're lighter. They're more breathable. Which, if you've ever played baseball in, say, late July, early August, is exactly what you want. And from what I can tell, they are light and breathable. They also look like crap. Okay? They changed the nameplate template on the back. The nameplate template that is on the back of the jerseys are a different size than the letters and the numbers. So you got this big, bold letter followed by like these tiny last names up across the top. I'll put it this way. If I showed up to my beer league softball team and they handed me these personalized for my beer league team, I'd say, that's all right. That's pretty good. I mean, I paid $100 to play in this league. I better get a halfway decent jersey out of it. And this is good enough. but I would say it's good enough for a beer league rec softball league. This is Major League Baseball. Here's the second thing, and this one came out yesterday. Players started complaining about the pants, and it's like, all right, guys, can you relax? Like, the pants, really? And then the pictures started going around. Pictures, promotional pictures. Not just guy in the dugout snapping off his Nikon.
So this isn't like Photoshopped.
No.
Okay. All right.
Dudes in their promotional pictures who, and I got to think they were doing this on purpose. If they stretched in any way, you could see straight through to the underoo. You could very clearly tell what brand of boxer briefs these dudes were wearing. And it's not like a weird thing where you're like, well, maybe stop staring at him. It's like, no, dude, it's as plain as if he was just wearing the shorts. They're see-through. You can see the little bottom flap of the jersey through the pants. The jerseys are cheap and thin, and you can see them through the pants. That's how thin the pants are.
Is this to attract more fans to the MLB? Maybe this is done on purpose to grow the crowds in the stadiums and people watching at home?
I'm going to guess no, but I'm also an idiot. But I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess.
Because suddenly people are talking about these uniforms and, I'm just,
Wearing your tinfoil hat. I get it.
No, I'm actually trying to look at it from a marketing standpoint.
I think what you have here,
if your job is to get more eyes on the product, you may have just solved that, right?
I think what we have here is a situation where Major League Baseball is doing what Major League Baseball does. That is, they're going to nickel and dime. Multi-billion-dollar industry. They're going to nickel and dime. So Fanatics goes to MLB and they say, hey, we'd like to pay you more than anybody else to produce your jerseys, to have our stuff on the backs of Ronald Acuna Jr. and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and Juan Soto, et cetera, et cetera. And Major League Baseball says, okay, because we like money more than we like our players or our fans. So they accepted it. And Fanatics puts out a big old steaming pile of hot garbage with the jerseys, with the pants, with the unis, because they don't particularly care how the players felt about it. It's a business deal. Now, there's at least one of you right now who's going, Rob, let me get this right. They pay you. You have 4 hours of airtime every day to talk sports. And you decided that the first two topics that you were going to spend time on today were a statue in Cleveland and Ronald Acuna Jr.'s pants. That's what you decided. And the answer is yes. But I am going to say the statue thing had no bigger purpose. It was just, it just made me laugh. The pants conversation does have a point. And the pants conversation is this. Rob Manfred retires in 5 years. I have pointed out that I think when Rob Manfred is done, his legacy as a commissioner is going to be that he was one. That's about it. There's going to be some positive. There's going to be some negative. I don't think Rob Manfred was bad for the sport. I don't think he was a great commissioner either. I think there was a lot of good. I think there was a lot of bad. And I think at the end of the day, the best thing that I'll be able to say about Rob Manfred is that I don't really have a ton of bad to say about Rob Manfred. And that's okay. It's a tough job. That's why you get paid so much, to be the fall guy. So the reason that this is a story to me is because it is just a little bit more proof that Major League Baseball doesn't even have the decency to like try to hide that they're nickel and diming everybody and everything. And I get it. You don't get to be a billionaire or a billion-dollar company without being a bit of a miser, without being a little bit guarded with your pennies. My old man used to drive me nuts. When we would go to get gas, my dad would pump the gas. And then after he pumped the gas, Alonzo, he would take the cord. I don't know what you call it, the tube.
You mean the hose?
The hose.
That's
what it's called. That's what it is.
Pretty sure it's a hose.
I'm still working on this. All right. He would take the hose and he would pick it up at the tank and he would hold it up in the air and he would like drain it, like keep it up in the air and wiggle it all the way down to the car to get every last drop of gas out. Right.
Frugal. That's
very.
Yeah. I mean,
and you should drive me nuts because this was like a minute and a half process. He'd pump the gas and then he'd have to wait. So he could grab the hose at the pump and he would hold it as high and elevate it so that he could make all the gas go into the tank. And the little brother and I'd be like, Dad, what are we like? Stop, dude. It's like 90 seconds where you look like a joke in the gas station.
So you're more embarrassed about, sitting in the car and your
100%.
Dad's doing this and everyone's
100%.
looking at him.
100%. Yeah. Sophomore, I'm trying to impress the JV cheerleader captain.
Who just happened to be at that gas station.
And I got
for some
an
reason?
old man getting out of his beat up caddy. Could afford to do it if he wanted to. Didn't want to. Just going to drive this one till the wheels fall off. Or until Rob turns 16. Shaking the damn gas hose like if he does enough, gold's going to come out of the end, right? And he used to drive me nuts. And then the old man would go, well, here's the thing, son. Every time I do that, I'll get a handful of extra drops. And over my lifetime, that's going to add up. So I did this thing once where I showed him that if you got even like 20 extra drops of gas, it would take you a year to go with to get a full gallon of gas.
Oh no, Science Rob showed up.
I was a dork back then too. What do you want?
Wow.
And pointed out that you are putting literally an hour of your life every year into shaking the gas hose to save. And I was in high school, $1.25 at a time.
It went a lot farther back then. $1.25 did.
Back in my day. Thanks, Obama. So
you probably could have bought you a pop and some Doritos and maybe a candy bar for $1.25.
Well, I couldn't have bought a pop because I don't know what that is. That's a sound. I could have bought a Coke.
Well, I mean, if you want to be literal, if that's your brand of choice.
So it used to drive me up a wall. It used to drive me crazy. And I realized as I got older, that's Major League Baseball, dude. That's what baseball does. They're going to do everything they can to nickel and dime you and the players and the fans and everybody else because they've got to pump the money in. I've talked about this in the past. Why is it that baseball is going on a pitch clock? Baseball is going on a pitch clock, the games are shorter, but not to shorten the game. It's to make more room within the game for television advertisements. It's to make more time within the game to sell stuff. That's it. So the fact that this organization found a way to screw up baseball pants. Baseball pants that baseball players have been wearing for 1,000 years. 1,000 years. And yet, in 2024, somehow we got baseball pants wrong. Baseball pants. They didn't screw up a stadium. They didn't screw with field dimensions. This isn't some experimental phase. They screwed up baseball pants. And jerseys. At least the jerseys, you're like, okay, you can try stuff new. You can try different designs. And sometimes you can ask Keegan, he's a graphic design guy. Sometimes you try out some new designs and you hit on something, you go, whoa, that's pretty rad. And then sometimes you try out a new design and you get to the finished product and you go, I suck at this, dude. I'm awful. What am I doing? I get it. If you screw up some logos or a design or graphics or whatever, it happens to everybody who's ever been on the creative side of that. How do you screw up pants? Pants. I can go to the store and pick out pants and go, that's good pants. These are nice pants. These pants will cover up my legs and other required body parts. And this fabric is not going to tear if I stretch too far one way. These are good pants. Even I, a certified, bona fide moron, can get pants right. You're telling me when they got the pants and they were packaging the pants and they were going to send the pants to the teams, not one guy picked up the pants and went, I can see my hand through these pants. And if I can see my hand through these pants, you're going to be able to see, other things through these pants. Maybe let's not do that. But they didn't do that because the deal was done. The money had exchanged hands. And they were hoping what? They were hoping that when Major League Baseball players took to the field and you could see the outline of their minor league baseball players, that what? We weren't going to say something? Have you heard of the internet, dude? Have you heard of the internet?
I don't know if you're familiar with it. The internet can be a difficult place.
Have you heard of the internet? As soon as you can show the internet something that's just kind of a little bit shaped like somebody's junk, and it goes meme forever. There is a picture that still shows up of a meteorologist a couple of years ago that was drawing up the path of a hurricane, Lonzo.
I've seen it. Yeah.
He drew a little circle around the bottom of the hurricane, and then he drew like a little line to represent the path the hurricane was going in towards the U.S., and then he showed the cone of uncertainty. So he had a little circle, and then he had two lines, and then you had the cone of uncertainty at the end. And let's be real, it looked like it just did. It just did. And that picture, 20 years later, every time weather happens, the internet's like, hey, you remember that time the weather guy drew a you-know-what on TV? Remember that? Remember when that dude drew some junk on TV about a storm? Still, so you thought what, baseball? You thought that you were going to send Mookie Betts and Lil Mookie out there yesterday and the internet wasn't going to notice? Baseball, do better. Do better. This is what I'm talking about. If you guys would just do better, your sport would be great. It's fine, but it would do great. Stop nickel and diming everything. You can't get pants. If you can't get pants right, how do I try? Lonzo, if one of us showed up to do this show without pants on, what do you think would be the ramifications?
Nothing.
That's fair. Nobody's here until we're off the air.
No. Even if there were people here, the building's closed. I've seen some stuff. So
you have not seen anybody not wearing pants in this building.
Yes, I have.
You have not seen somebody not on the Rise Guys not wearing pants in this building.
Yes, I have.
All right, I don't know what I got myself into. Point is, at most of y'all's jobs, if you showed up with no pants on, you would be not only canned, but people would question your mental stability. Yet, baseball couldn't get pants right. Excellent. Excellent. Somebody texted the text line and said, Rob, quote, I wish you weren't so dumb. Yeah, me too. So do a lot of people. Let's take a break. Come back, wrap up hour one. Rob Alonso and you. It's Friday, dudes. I can't promise that any of this is going to make sense, but we're trying our hardest.
What's up? What's up, man?
Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. I microwaved a Starbucks egg white bite this morning, right? And I burned my roof of my mouth, but like it blistered, and now the blister is popped, and there's this like little piece of dead skin that's hanging down from the roof of my mouth.
That drives you crazy, doesn't it?
I'm gonna kill something.
Well, you're gonna end up pulling the skin, and that's a mistake, bro.
I know, but I can't live like this.
College basketball, Furman faces Wofford Saturday in Greenville. Both teams 15-13. Clemson Saturday will be at Little John Coliseum. They will take on Florida State. South Carolina will be in Oxford. They'll take on Ole Miss. Download the Odyssey app and search The Fan Upstate. Then listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Tony Gazzeri, and that's your Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate.
Upstate traffic looking pretty good on area freeways as we start our early morning drive north and southbound 85. No issues are reported between 226 in Spartanburg and 276 in Greenville. Overall, that running about 20 minutes. Southbound 85 near Pelham, there is some ongoing road work. Really not seeing any problems there. And then Highway 29 way to Hampton Boulevard. No reported issue between Greenville and Spartanburg. From the News Talk 98.9 WORD Traffic Center, I'm George Nissen on the Fan Upstate.
Sick and tired of achy joints.
Peacemaker in Mortal Kombat.
Look, watch it.
Well, I can't listen to it yet.
Well, you don't need to just watch it.
Are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain.
Oh, dude, you haven't seen the fatality yet.
State-of-the-art treatments. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year to reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run, play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery.
That's dope.
Drugs. Call QC Kinetics now.
Yeah, I'll listen to it later because
Yep.
I'm sure it's seen a
That's
voice in it.
awesome.
So, but yeah, it's like 10 different places all just tweeted it at once. I haven't played Mortal Kombat in like 20 years, but once Cameron got to the point where he could beat me at every fighting game, I just stopped. Because he's the only one I actually play fighting games with.
Yep.
And if you know you can't win, I mean, you know.
I've never understood how you get good at a fighting game.
Well, I was proud and ticked off all at the same time, which is, it's a weird mix of emotions. He's just really good at it. When his brother-in-law talks stuff, he shut him up. I was pretty happy about that. That was hilarious. And he got, when he was in college, no one wanted to play him in any fighting game. I think it's a matter of your brain telling you the right combination of buttons to push and being fast enough to push them.
From the Ingles Market Studio,
Upstate 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
from the friiiiiiiend.
The Rob Brown Show carries on. It is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to have you. I am Rob Brown, the great Lonzo on the ones and twos today. For those of you that have asked, our conversation with R-Truth, WWE Legend, coming up at 9:20 this morning. 9:20, we will have R-Truth joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Very much looking forward to playing you
It will
guys that
also be
interview.
on the stream.
Yeah, the video. So it will be, we did video it. We did live stream it. So we will play the video on the stream at facebook.com/the Fan Upstate, twitter.com/the Fan Upstate, the Fan Upstate on YouTube, or the Rob Brown Show on Twitch. We will stream the video for you. But if you can't get in front of the stream, the audio will go out over the radio as usual. I will tell you that there was one hilarious moment very early in the stream that is only going to make sense on video, where R-Truth hit us with the Tay-Tay heart hand emoji. And then hearts.
Wait. You spoiled it.
I don't think I can. I can tell you exactly what happened, and it's still amazing. He hit us with the heart hand emoji, and a moment of chaos happened, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Also, that dude, like, such a genuine gut laugh when he laughs. It's great. You can't talk to that guy and not be in a good mood. So we'll play that for you coming up at 9:20.
Yeah, and we will also talk about a couple of things that happened off the air before we even did the interview, which was
phenomenal.
Yeah.
We had a great time. So we'll play that interview for you coming up at 9:20 this morning. I'm curious, Zoe, as to how you feel about this Antonio Pierce story. Antonio Pierce, the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, said that when the Raiders square off against the reigning, defending, two-time back-to-back NFL champions, that they will be channeling the Bad Boys Pistons. In a recent episode of Max Crosby's The Rush podcast, because everybody has a podcast.
Sounds like an intense bit of podcasting.
Pierce discussed how he got his team ready to play the Chiefs before the 2014 Christmas Day upset in Kansas City. That was the last loss of the season for Kansas City, as they would not lose again all the way up to and through the Super Bowl. In the week before the game, Pierce, then the interim coach, said he expressed to his team that they need to, and I quote, hate the color red, end quote, and showed them famous videos of boxing and MMA fights, as well as old footage of how the NBA's Detroit Pistons approached playing Michael Jordan in the late 80s with that Chuck Daly, just murder him game plan that they employed. Pierce said on the podcast, quote, we've got the Jordan rules and what I'm calling from now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. So you remember when Jordan was going through it with the Pistons, all those guys in the 80s, but before he became Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, the Pistons used to whoop his anytime he came to the hole, elbows, feeling him up, love taps. We touched him. We're in the head mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm touching you up. So I show those guys Jordan getting his kicked.
What the filling him up, touching him up? What is he talking about?
He's a defensive guy.
Yeah, but that's just no, you don't say that way.
Yeah, you do. That's defense language. Listen.
That's like the Clemson oil check. You don't talk about that stuff. Come on.
Listen to me, quarterback. You try to get outside the pocket, I'm touching you up. Yeah, that's a phrase.
Never heard that before until now that I recall.
You were an offensive guy.
Well, I played both sides of the ball. So, I mean,
playing both sides of the ball means you're not a defensive guy.
Defensive
guys are defensive
guys. By the way,
guys.
I enjoyed the defense more than I enjoyed the offense because I didn't really know.
You're a lunatic.
I didn't really know the plays, but I knew there's ball tackle thing.
You sick freak.
Defense was more.
Average a sack a game in high school was my senior year. So maybe I did know something about defense.
All right. Nuts and bolts of this. How you feel about it? Does this shock you at all?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And what an upset that was, but that lit a fire under the Kansas City Chiefs that drove them to the Super Bowl. So thank you, Antonio.
Andy Reid did say that he texted Pierce, quote, hey, beautiful facility, first of all, and I appreciate you kicking our tail because you taught us a lesson. You get complacent in this business, man. The margin between winning and losing is tiny. So Andy Reid said to Antonio Pierce, thanks for touching us up.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he said. I didn't hear that in what you just read. I think you're loosely interpreting the text. But yeah, I just don't know that you say that. And here's the thing. Still the Raiders, man. I mean, you got an upset win. What good did that do?
I got to tell you, I'm betting the over win total on the Raiders next year. I'm so bought into what Antonio Pierce is
he's
doing.
One step away from putting out a bounty. That's all I'm saying. And we know, and that's not a good thing.
I mean, only every team ever did it. And that's bad. It's bad. Only every team did it.
Didn't that sound like a bounty to you?
No.
What are you saying?
It sounded like we want to knock the out of Patrick Mahomes, which is understand. Here's it. Here, I'll tell you, and I'm the only shocking part here is that more teams haven't done this. If you are going to play in a league, officiate the league in a way where if somebody breathes on a star quarterback, they get a flag, then I'm going to go ahead and earn the flag.
Oh, no, I agree.
I'll go ahead and rip that dude's face off.
I agree. If you're going to hit the quarterback, you're going to get, you might as well go ahead and do it right.
Touch him up.
Yeah, I will not say that because that just doesn't sound right. If you want to drive his face into the turf and make him struggle to get up, that's fine.
Yeah, touch him up.
No.
100%.
No, that's
if you are going to officiate this league in a way that if I look at a quarterback the wrong way, I catch a 15-yard flag, then I might as well make him earn that 15. 100%.
Well, not every quarterback. There are a couple quarterbacks you can
the
hit.
Stars.
You can hit all you want.
Right. Mahomes is getting that call. Allen is getting that call. Lamar's getting that call. Herbert's getting that call. Dak is probably getting that call.
Well, it's America's team. So.
Derek Carr's not getting that call.
No, Derek Carr's not getting.
He ain't there.
Is he still a Hall of Famer?
Texas is host. Yeah, for sure. You got to warm up. You know, he needed some time to get the old engine rolling. He's gonna be.
It sucks. Sorry about my language.
Who sucks?
I love that I have
Derek
a follow-up clip for that.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
No, me still having to pretend like we're gonna.
It's a shame that guy's no longer in football right now, but you know.
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute. We're getting into hour number 2. We open up with your water cooler cheat sheet, the top 3 sports stories that you need to know. And then it's Friday, dudes. It's just going to be chaos. Anything you want to talk about, 71307. Texas said Hornets on a 4-game win streak after the final trades occurred. Do you think they have a team now, or are they still just the Hornets? I will answer that and more after Lonzo, by contemporary candlelight, reads this sports flash.
Hey, I'm an innovator. I adapt. That's what I do. Don Staley's Gamecocks have dominated the college basketball landscape this season, and they've locked up at least a part of the regular season SEC title and are one step closer to winning it outright. The Gamecocks knocked off Alabama for the 22nd time in a row. That's 22 times in a row, people. 72-44, which also notched Staley her 600th career victory. The win marked the 26th on the season and 13th in conference. The LSU men's basketball team pulled off back-to-back top 25 upsets, knocked off South Carolina first and Kentucky earlier this week, but the Tigers will pay for it. The SEC has fined LSU $100,000 for storming the court, because you shouldn't do that. And if they do it again, it will be like $250,000. It's a lot. Tune in tomorrow at 1:30 as the Furman men's basketball team takes on Wofford right here on the Fan, upstate. The ring light we have in here is possessed. It will just come on and go off on its own and just, yeah. And Rob turned the lights down because of glare. I don't know if the glare is on him. I'm not going to go with what he said earlier. Go ahead and tell him, Moles. I don't care. And to Odie, I say knee. If your name is Lou and you keep hearing these Big Lou commercials, do you start calling yourself Big Lou?
I called my nephew Big Lou when I was down there.
Well, you earned that moniker when you start making baskets, right?
When he finally started making baskets.
Right. After the Rob Brown pep talk.
Everybody can get better with a little Rob Brown in their life.
Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends through 2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Hey everybody, it's Boomer Esiason here, and eBay Motors has everything you need to keep your ride or die alive. From superchargers, brakes, exhaust kits, and more. With over 122 million parts, eBay Motors levels your...
I think The Rock flew with the boys to Perth or just took his own plane. If he's in Perth.
If he's there.
Yeah.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
The Fan.
Smith and James' first break.
You ever like not been able to be the level and gotten to the point where you felt like you were going to quit?
Yeah, I've actually quit before. And then I'll come back like a year later and get past it.
Shelley and I were playing GTA last night, and we came out with this level where you have to clear a ranch of about 150 bad guys, but they have Apaches with missiles, so you can't just hide anywhere. We played it probably 55, 60 times, and I was like, I have to go to bed. I can't. Our numero dos of the Rob Brown radio program goes now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is the Fan Upstate. I, shockingly, am Rob Brown. On the other side of the metaphorical glass this AM, the guy in charge of this radio broadcast and every radio broadcast that you've ever heard and thought to yourself, this is pretty good. The great one, Lonzo, ran that program and this one and all the other ones. Hour number 2 is off and running. A lot of stuff to get to, a lot of stuff to talk about. Lonzo asked earlier in the program when I said that I love it. And I will acknowledge that I have pulled back dramatically on the sports gambling because while I am good at it, I got to be putting money into the savings account, But he asked the question, is gambling on spring training baseball bordering on a problem? The answer to me is no. No, it's not. What I will say is that I'm not alone in that. America in 2023, great one.
America.
Oh, wait, I have one of those too.
I'm talking to America here.
America gambled, according to the American Gaming Association, $10.92 billion with a B dollars were gambled in 2023. It was a 44.5 year-over-year increase from 2022, which previously held the record. A handle of $119.84 billion. That's with a B. Combined with an increased year-over-year sportsbook win percentage of 9.1%, up from 8.1% in 2022, contributed to the record. So the books took in 9.1% profit on gambling. That's a pretty good ROI. 10% of every dollar you invest comes back to you. Not bad. AGA notes that these figures are all without Arizona and Kentucky reporting their most recent data. Obviously, in Kentucky, Maine, Massachusetts, Nebraska, and Ohio, all of those states came online in the gambling community in 2023. Ohio quickly established itself as a sports betting hotbed bringing in $936.6 million to rank as the fourth highest earning state in the country. The new 5 states combined brought in $1.5 billion last year. The most lucrative state in terms of gambling, New York, maintained its dominance, accumulated $1.697 billion in 2023. That's in revenue. New Jersey made $1.007 billion. Illinois, $1.002 billion. Each eclipsed $1 billion in annual revenue for the first time. So for the folks that have said, of course the numbers went up, there are more states where it's allowed now. Yes, but it also went up exponentially in the states where it was already allowed. For those of you that have asked the question, how do you guys float a sports talk network that exclusively discusses gambling and, by the way, do it in states where it's not allowed? Well, a couple of things. Number one, there are ways to do it in South Carolina. You may use what are frequently labeled as daily fantasy. FanDuel offers these, Prize Picks offers these, Underdog Sports, where basically all you can pick is over-unders, right? And you can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over-unders and bank on all of them to put together a winner. In the other states, you were talking about multiple states taking in $1 billion in revenue. There's a reason the BetQL network is flourishing and growing and continues to grow. It's because this industry is not just not going anywhere. It's because this industry has gone to the moon. And that, I just realized, was item number 1 in your water cooler cheat sheet that I didn't ask for. Hey, we should do the water cooler cheat sheet right now.
Are you ready for the playbook of the peculiar, the almanac of the absurd, and the encyclopedia of the extraordinary? Well, you better be, because we're diving headfirst into the 3 top stories that will have your coworker saying,
"You hear that?"
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Their first bathroom break.
No.
Here we go. Welcome to the water cooler cheat sheet on the Fan Upstate.
What's up? What's up, man?
It is time for the water cooler cheat sheet, the top 3 sports stories that you need to know before we start talking sports at work. You are less than an hour away from clocking in, which means you're like an hour and 15 minutes away from that first break. You're going to want to talk some sports. This is what you need to talk about. Item number 1. Well, I kind of already gave it to you. The American Gaming Association has put out its 2023 numbers for the sports gambling world, and they are astronomical. The AGA projected that Americans would bet $23.1 billion just on the Super Bowl alone. Nevada, $1.856 million. New York, $162.2 million. Already reported enormous numbers from the game. North Carolina launched legal online sports betting in early March, just in time for March Madness. That goes into the Q1 number. When the Q1 number comes out, it's going to be through the roof. But we have the 2023 number. The 2023 number, 44.5% higher in year-over-year increase from the year before 2022, which previously held the record for the most gambly year of all time. $119.84 billion was the handle. That is up 27.8% year over year, and an increased year over year sportsbook win percentage of 9.1%. High watermark, a record $10.92 billion in revenue for 2023 in the sports gambling world. Like I mentioned, you guys have asked, how is it that BetQL can flourish, especially when there are so many states that don't allow it yet? And the answer is because you can do it in every state if you do it the right way, A. And that's not me saying, oh, there's illegal ways to do it. I'm saying there are legalized ways to gamble. They don't call it gambling. It's a skill-based contest. But you can do it, A. And B, and in states where it is legal, they are raking in money right now. That, dudes, Just kind of is what it is. Let's get to item number 2. The Gamecocks of South Carolina played a little women's basketball yesterday. They took on Alabama. Since Dawn Staley has taken over as the head coach of the Lady Gamecocks, they have played Alabama 22 times. They have won 22 times. Last night, the 23rd win on the season for the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Last night, the 16th win in conference for the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Last night, the 600th win of Dawn Staley's career as an NCAA women's basketball head coach. 600 dubs. Now, she's got quite a ways to go to be up there with the Ariamas and the Krzyzewskis and the Summits of the world. She's got to double up just to get into the conversation with Gino. But she's also significantly, and this is true, I've done the research, younger than Gino Ariama and others. Dawn Staley's going to be in that mix when it's done. The only way Dawn Staley's not in the mix when it's done at the rate that they are on is if she does decide to one day move over to the WNBA or the NBA. That would be the only way Dawn Staley's not going to make it up into the top notch. Now, there is one other spot she could go but still earn the wins title. That would be, of course, if she ever decided to take over a men's college basketball program. I will say that if there is a woman on planet Earth that is most likely to shatter that glass ceiling, if there is a woman on planet Earth that is most likely to become a D1 men's head coach that would be on the winning path, it's obviously Dawn Staley. I think this young lady has obviously built a place of reverence amongst college basketball. I think at this point, just like I told you, I think Caitlin Clark is the face of women's basketball, despite the fact that her Iowa Hawkeyes got it handed to them by Indiana last night. I think Dawn Staley right now is the coach of college basketball coaching. I mean, the face of college basketball coaching. Really. I mean, Gino Ariama is obviously on that list. But past that, who is it? Who would you say is the most recognizable coach in college basketball right now? Because if it ain't Gino Ariama, it's Bruce Pearl or Dawn Staley, in my opinion.
Kim Mulkey.
Kim Mulkey's up there, but do we recognize Kim Mulkey by face or by outfit? You know, when she shows up on the sideline dressed like Big Bird Shagda Flamingo,
dude,
you've seen it.
Yeah, but I don't go there in my head. Like, it's okay.
Well, call me an absolute weirdo.
You sick freak.
But when she's wearing giant tufts of pink feathers, it's where my head goes. Okay. Dawn Staley is the face of college basketball coaching right now.
I would have said she raided Seth Rollins' closet, but you know.
Item number 3. It's baseball season, people. Officially. Finally.
Nope.
It is baseball season. Yesterday, spring training got underway. The Dodgers and the Padres had themselves a little spring training matchup. 14-1 was your final, as the Dodgers ended up putting 8 on the board in the first inning off of San Diego. Joe Musgrove was tagged with the L after going 0.0 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk as well. They decided to go to Carter Lowitt to finish out the inning. He didn't. Just 1 batter retired, 3 hits, also 4 runs, and a walk surrendered as well. It was not good news for the Padres. That being said, today, my friends, today you get your first look at the new look Kansas City Royals and Texas Rangers. 3:05 p.m. spring ball. At 3:05 p.m., a little Windy City mayhem, shall we, as the White Sox and the Cubs get it on in Mesa, Arizona at 3:08 p.m. in Phoenix, Arizona. We get game number 2 between the Padres and the Dodgers, and at 3:10, the D-backs and the Rockies go at it out in Scottsdale, Arizona. Salt River Fields at Talking Stick is where they'll be playing. Very much looking forward to that 3 o'clock window today. The YouTube quad box is back, baby. It's been missing for a minute. We got it. Major League Baseball is here, my friends. Spring training starts as the beginning of the regular season is right at a month away. Reunited, and it feels so good.
How many spring training games are there?
Lots.
So
you got 4 today. On
Saturday.
I
mean per team.
Oh, per team.
Yeah, because I mean, if you put that, so altogether, how many baseball games do they play when you also put the preseason in there?
Spring games, I think you get 33.
So they play over 200 games per season then?
When you include spring games, yeah. Most guys are not. Okay, let me rephrase that. A lot of guys are very limited in the spring. Pitchers are not going to go full tilt. Most pitchers are going to pitch 1 inning per game in the spring.
So this really is preseason, like I said earlier.
Yeah, it's preseason for sure. Now, fielders, defensive guys, they're going to play a lot more. Every now and then they'll go a full 9. Most of them are going to go 4 or 5 innings. It's a good opportunity to get the young guys. You got a lot of roster invitees that are using spring. It is very similar in structure to the NFL preseason. But you're going to see a lot more out of the starters than you will in the NFL preseason. The Braves, by the way, for those of you that are curious, will have their first spring game tomorrow at 1:05 down in Port Charlotte, Florida, when they take on the Rays. The Red Sox and the O's in an AL East matchup will be at 1:05. So will the Marlins and the Cardinals, the Yankees and the Tigers, the Pirates and the Twins, the Phillies and Jays, the Cardinals and Mets at 10 after 1. The 3 o'clock window, Cubs, Giants, Reds, Guardians, named after a statue on a bridge, it turns out. The Rockies and Athletics at 3:05. Mariners, White Sox, Rangers, Royals, Rockies, Diamondbacks at 3:10. So is the Dodgers and the Angels, a little LA showdown. The Brewers and the Padres. And then we wrap it up at night with the Astros and the Nats. Just as a heads up, for those of you paying attention, no Shohei Ohtani in the spring game. We will not get Shohei. However, Shohei is expected to be available for the Dodgers opening day, which of course will take place in Seoul, South Korea. In fact, the full complement of Dodgers, everybody not named Clayton Kershaw, is expected to be available for Los Angeles. Nigel, born Harry, that's excellent work, said Big Bird is a stud. He could totally pull a flamingo, no doubt. Yeah, of course he could. Big Bird is a playboy. You know it. He's the only bird on the block. You think at no point has another bird infringed on Big Bird's territory. There's a reason for that. Because dude is Big Bird. If he wanted to get with a flamingo and make a Kim Mulkey jacket, he could absolutely do it. The show's going to be weird today, isn't it? The show's going to be weird.
What do you mean going to be?
It's gonna be
I mean, we're
today.
like an hour and 20 minutes almost into it. It's been pretty weird already.
Dork.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back here in just a moment from right now, 24/7 Sports has put out a list of names that they believe will be household names in the land of college football in 2024. And there are 2 names from Clemson on that list. Who are they, and how do they see that shaking out? We'll talk about that coming up on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Smith.
All right, guys, live read right here. We're coming back. Don't go anywhere. the guy. And I'm not even willing to say that the offense was bad. I don't think it was bad at all. I think it was a year of growth and change within the Clemson program. I think there was certainly a downgrade in talent from years gone by. I don't know that. DJ! And also DJ was gone. I don't know.
I'm running out of reasons to play it. I don't want to kill it yet.
You might get one back next year.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be playing in the ACC again.
Show is on the team that you may or may not remember, Lonzo, won the ACC this year, despite the fact that I was told over and over and over and over and over and over and over when I predicted that FSU would be in the mix. Oh, no, Rob, it's Clemson and nobody else.
Too early to predict next year?
I think you're looking at Clemson and Florida State playing for the ACC title.
Not really a surprise.
Florida State is downshifted a little bit. They lost everybody that made them undefeated and screwed over last year.
And Clemson, though, slightly above mediocre, it's still good enough to vie for this slightly above mediocre conference that's obsolete and about to disappear.
24/7 said, quote, "You've got a question lingering right now in both the ACC collectively and at Clemson specifically about whether this is FSU's conference now or whether last year was some sort of a blip on the radar screen, but maybe Clemson can still restore order. If Garrett Riley in year 2 doesn't continue to have significant uptick in offensive production, if Cade Klubnik can't play up to what we believe is his full potential, and Clemson is again hitting that under, it's probably due in large part to them not separating enough and not being able to pull away in games against teams that are inferior roster-wise." I think that's a very fair analysis and breakdown. I don't think that I could come up with an offensive coordinator / quarterback tandem that has more pressure on them than Cade Klubnik and Garrett Riley. I think those two dudes are facing an immense amount of pressure. Mike Norvell at Florida State right now is fine. If Mike Norvell doesn't win the ACC next year, Florida State fans are not going to start calling for him, especially if they're in the mix. If DJ Uiagalelei goes to Florida State and bombs, does it live up to what Mike Norvell saw in him by making him the transfer portal quarterback that he selected when there were a few of them interested in Tallahassee? If he does not at least approach what Jordan Travis was doing before his leg injury last year, that's not gonna change anything. Nobody's gonna suddenly look and go, "Oh, the pressure, what a disappointment." They're gonna go, "All right, well, that's what he was, and that was the best Florida State could get." I am looking at what Clemson is facing this year. I am looking at what Clemson is facing in the ACC. And keep in mind, in the 5+7 model, the only ACC team guaranteed anything is the champ. Do I think that there will be 2 ACC teams in more often than not? Yeah, I do. Because I think Clemson's always going to be in that 10-2, 11-1 range. I think Florida State has probably turned a corner to where I'm comfortable saying that for the foreseeable future, they'll be in that range. I don't know if Miami's back. But I don't see anybody else that is going to ding up those 2 squads enough that we don't rather consistently see Florida State and see Clemson in the playoff mix. But in order for that to happen, Garrett Riley has got to live up to his potential. Garrett Riley has got to live up to the hype. Garrett Riley has got to live up to being the guy that he was brought in to be. That's kind of the spot that he's in. And Cade Klubnik, same exact situation. And the thing is, both of these guys have to rely on each other to make that happen. If Cade Klubnik doesn't live up to his hype, Garrett Riley can't live up to his. If Garrett Riley doesn't live up to his hype, Cade Klubnik can't live up to his. This is why I find the prognostication of the system that Garrett Riley wants to run so interesting. Remember, last year at Clemson Media Day, Mark Ryan and I were down there and we got the chance to go one-on-one with Garrett Riley. And we talked a little bit about Cade Klubnik, and we talked a little bit about working with Cade Klubnik last year, and we talked a little bit about how Garrett Riley's system would fit Cade Klubnik. And you will remember that Garrett Riley pointed out multiple times and repeatedly that this is not a air raid offense. This is not a wide open spread offense. They want to run the ball maybe as often as they throw it. Now, the unfortunate part for Clemson last year was that they did not figure out that Phil Maffa needed to be the guy. They did not realize that Phil Maffa needed to be one. And for the record, I don't fault them for that. Neither did I. I think very few of us did. I got a text during the bowl game, you'll remember, where he popped off and went bananas. I got a text from a dear friend of mine, a P1 listener of the show, who said, this is what we should have been doing all year. And I agree. This is a guy who's a big Clemson fan. And much like me, we just kind of kept going with, I don't know what options you have other than Will Shipley. You got to keep going to him. In fact, I think it kind of got to a point, justified or not, where we looked at Will Shipley as kind of a Christian McCaffrey-like running back. He's an every purpose back. Split him out, run him on the screen, toss him on a wheel route, run him inside, run him outside. And while he is a very talented running back, and I'm not saying he's not, we got to the point where that was being, I don't want to say stopped, but contained. And once that run game got contained, and it was discovered how to contain it, defense were a little bit more apt to learning the tendencies of Cade Klubnik, to learning the habits of the passing offense. And I do think the play calling down the stretch got a little bit predictable. Now, I don't think you had a ton of choice, because the wide receiver core was not the wide receiver core of years gone by. You didn't have the receivers creating separation like they had in years gone by. You had some guys that maybe weren't quite as sure-handed as you would have liked in different spots. And because of that, you almost had to kind of run a basic pass offense. You couldn't really do the special things. Now, you can ask the question, is that because of the receivers, or is that because Cade Klubnik was not ready for
that? Because I noticed you weren't mentioning that maybe the quarterback wasn't accurate enough yet. Not that he's not going to get there. He might if people are patient. We know he's really good at handing off, but he threw some passes last year that were really, really good and crisp. Then he threw some that were not.
I do not disagree. We also, I think it's only fair that we also bring up the offensive line was I'm going to say a little disappointing last year.
And it was a new offense.
It was.
I mean, you hear about that all the time, especially in the NFL. Well, this guy has had 5 different offensive coordinators. Well, they just changed offensive coordinators, and terminology is going to change unless they went completely the Clemson way and left everything, with that terminology. I seriously doubt that. A new guy comes in, he's going to change things up and how they're said to what his system is. And it's a learning process.
I do not disagree with any of that. I think last year there were a lot of variables for this team. There was the variables, as Alonzo has pointed out, of having to recreate an offense. And I go back to, and I remember the biggest controversy with the hiring of Garrett Riley was like 2 or 3 weeks into the season when Dabo said, actually, it may have even been preseason, when Dabo said, we didn't bring Garrett Riley here to run the Garrett Riley offense. We brought him here to run the Clemson offense. We brought him here to coordinate and manage the Clemson offense. And I said on the air, well, then why would you make this hire? Why would you not? If you are just going to keep everything the same, that is the only reason to promote exclusively within house, is if you want everything to be run the way the house runs it. If you're going to bring in a guy like Garrett Riley, I think you need to bring in a cat, or I think you need to allow that cat to do his thing, to run his offense, to coordinate his offense, to build to his offense. But regardless of the direction that you decided to go there, anytime you make a change like that, stuff has to happen. The offensive line needs to change its schematic. And you may not have guys that fit in. I feel the same way about coordinators that I do about head coaches. I give you 3 years, then I expect upward results. I give you 5 years, then I expect success. I feel the same way about coordinators. It takes time. Probably not quite as forgiving for coordinators as head coaches because of how much more head coaches have to do. But I'm going to give you 3 years to recruit your guys, your system. I'm going to give you 3 years to show me a trajectory of improvement. And then I'm going to give you 2 more for that improvement to reach success. This is why, to me, we're kind of in a weird spot now with Shane Beamer, friend of the show, because this is the year that I expect improvement, like notable empirical improvement. And I will go with this.
And you're doing that when he just lost a quarterback who was one of the best quarterbacks they've ever had there, and some other players, and they're going to have to rebuild through so many different ways. And it's not going to matter. There are no excuses.
That's program building. That's how you build a program. That's part of the game. Every coach is going to lose the best quarterback he's ever had. Your job's to go find the guy. I hope Lenora Sellers is a stud. I do. I look at Shane and I go, this is a prove it year. Now, this is where I know I can already tell you, bold prediction for the 2023 college football season. Lonzo and I are going to butt heads. And we're going to butt heads because Lonzo's definition of improvement is going to be Lonzo's definition of improvement is going to be, does the win total go up? My definition of improvement is going to be pulling stat comparisons from last year and this year and saying, can you show me that your passing game got better in productivity, your run defense, your passing defense, your running game, your special teams? Where on the chart of statistical comparisons can I draw a red circle and say you got better here, or a green circle say you got better here, a red circle you got worse here, and make sure I got more green ink on the page than red?
I'm going to come with fan perspective. That's just what I do. I think your average fan wants wins, Rob. They don't go, all that stuff you just said, all that, tag on it. Why does that not work? There we go. I just thought of all that stuff that you just talked about, all the stats and things. In the end, wins is what
this is where
a good portion of the people, if not the most fans, look at.
I don't disagree. The difference is there's this phrase about today's society. Oh, let's go full okay, boomer. Instant gratification. You've heard this term before. America wants instant gratification. That's why social media is so big, because we want to get on the website of choice and we want to see things that make us happy right now. I want it now. I want it right now. And the reality is the most successful people on planet Earth, I don't care who you look at. I don't care if it's in athletics or finance or whatever. The most successful people on planet Earth do not say the only thing that matters is the dub. They understand there's a 1,000 steps between me and victory or me and success. There's 1,000 steps. You don't just jump to success. Kobe didn't become Kobe just by showing up in the gym and instantly winning. Kobe's first couple of years were rough in the NBA. So were Mike's, so were Braun's, so were Shaq's. They figured out, all right, I got to get better at this thing. And they nailed that down. And then this thing. And then they nailed that down. And then this thing. And then they nailed that down. And then this thing. And then they nailed that down. And then this thing. And then they nailed that down. And the next thing you know, they got 50 things nailed down that now they're one of the best at that one thing. And you put all that together and now you win. I understand fans want wins. You don't win by just playing good ball. There's a billion things that happen on a football field in every game that you have to get way more right than you get wrong for me to say you play good ball. Playing good ball and winning is the end game. It's a nice thing to say, but there are 1,000 things you have to do to make that the reality.
If the win total does not go up, will Shane Beamer still be there?
That is hard to say. It depends on if the folks who make that decision.
He will not. He's got to do better win-wise this year.
That depends on if the people who make the decision are like me or like you. Right?
Okay.
No. I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
No. I get it. I get it. Again, you're coming at it from an analytical perspective, and I'm coming at it from a fan perspective. And we're almost always going to do that. The average fan doesn't care about all that stuff you said. They just want to see a win. They want to see their team win. A Gamecock fan wants to see the Gamecocks win. They're not going to go, yeah, but you know what? The offensive line improved in their running scheme.
That's fine, but that's why we don't let the average fan make decisions, right? Like the average person out there, Lonzo, could absolutely say, I want y'all's radio show to be good, and that's great. But the average person could not walk into this building.
What you mean good? This is an award-winning program 2 times.
Okay, let me go where I'm going. Let me go where I'm going. Let me go where I'm going.
I'm going to leave this room.
Let me go where I'm going. You and I understand, I think, all of the things that go into award-winning television, right? Or radio.
Yeah,
both. Why not?
I mean,
stream.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You and I understand all the things that go into award-winning radio. And you guys, you and I understand when we have to show up, what we have to do every day to make sure, I took the red jacket down, to make sure we got a reason to wear a red jacket. Well, right?
You didn't need it up. We won.
If we brought an average dude in here who said, I want your show to be great, he would not understand the minutia that goes into making that happen. He would say, Rob, turn on your mic and say smart football things. Lonzo, turn on your mic, say smart football things, and also make sure that the buttons and the volume's good. And that's it. But you and I know that's not what wins us awards. It's the foundation of it, but that's not what wins us trophies. That's not how this game gets played.
It's chemistry, comedy, and excellence.
It's commercials, it's liners, it's music, it's producing out the stream, it's making sure not just that the sounds are good, but that they are all woven together in the elegant dance of award-winning radio. That's why we make the decisions about the show. That's why we take input from listeners, but we don't let them tell us how to run the game. There's a difference. Yes, the wins are important, but if it's the only thing you're looking at, you're going to be disappointed. This is why both Garrett Riley at Clemson and Shane Beamer at South Carolina, for me, I don't need to see 9-3 at South Carolina to be able to, I think, say they improved. And it's why I don't need to see 12-0 at Clemson to say anything less is unacceptable. I need to see improvement with the understanding sometimes teams are just going to be better than you. All right, we'll finish up this hour when we come back here in just a minute. We're going to want to remind you.
I don't understand your perspective. It's just that your perspective is dumb.
I don't know.
Girl.
920 R-Truth. We will replay the interview that we did with him yesterday on the show. I want your opinions on this conversation we're having. 71307, 71307. Start your text with fan or jump on the air with us at 844-326-3663. The renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas fan phone is open. We are back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. I have to go fix this new thing that I'm...
No, this is like a minute and a half. Very short. Uh-huh.
South Carolina now 26-0 with 13 of those wins coming in conference play. Men's college basketball Saturday. Furman and Wofford will meet in Greenville. Paladins coming off a loss to Sanford Wednesday night. That snapped a 3-game win streak.
Good start. It's a good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the first win. But that we can claim to be completely original, which excites me, which puts me in the zone of winning. I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? Let's just do it. Let's meet this thing head on. And you were in it to win it. Talk about an education. And then like this, and then that's the guy, and he's our dad, and we can get all the answers and the truth. Wow, winning.
I fixed it.
Tack on it. Right, so you dummy.
From the Ingalls Market Studio, the Fan.
Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
Always live from the friiiiiiiiend.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 biggie bundles. Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid at a combo. Second line of price.
No need to check the clock.
Wow, winning.
Winning. Well, that's a great one.
Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rob and the Great One with you on the Wheatus and Pitch Show. Wrapping up the second hour of broadcasting. John is on the stream. John said, nope, wins are all that matters. I happen to notice, John, as I am part detective, I'm like Radio Batman over here, that you have that Georgia G in your logo. I will tell you that absolutely makes sense. Absolutely makes sense if you're Georgia.
Oh, dude. So you're gonna just say that Georgia understands winning, but South Carolina doesn't.
No,
because that's what you just implied.
No. What I'm saying is, like with everything else in the world, there's a tier list, and there are tiers of everything that you do. There is a tier list in college football. Once you reach the mountaintop, you can't go higher. And the only thing that matters is staying on top of that mountaintop. Is anybody here going to argue that South Carolina's on the mountaintop? No. Hell, I can't argue Clemson's on the mountaintop. They were, but right now they're not. You're not conference champions. You lost more in a single season than you have lost in a very long time. South Carolina obviously started at the bottom, and they're not here yet. Improvement is possible. You can't improve when you're on top of the mountaintop. Nikola Jokic, 10 of 10 from the floor, 15 points, 15 boards, 15 assists, yada, yada, yada last night. Can't improve on that. That's perfection. That's perfection.
Which is why now I can't read it. And Sports Flash was no, because I'm not going to repeat it because you just showed perfection, and I can't equal that.
Right. So I can't get better.
So I can't read it because you just, thanks.
No one is arguing that the two teams that we are currently discussing are on the mountaintop, which means there is room for improvement. And the thing is, improvement is measured not in the grand scheme to me. It's measured by little things. Marcus texted the show. He said, Marcus here, I agree with the analyzing perspective. Numbers don't lie. As a fan, I can be happy with an ugly win. I coach basketball. After an ugly win, I'm still up in concern on what needs to happen to play better, not just win.
Wait. He said win. He still said win.
Correct.
Yeah, but he
said what? Then he said, within an ugly win, I am looking to see the little things that can improve.
He said win at least 3 times. And so the winning is the important part. All the stuff in between to get to the win is awesome. And if there's things to improve, great. But the win, even in that text, is the most important thing.
If we snuck a GoPro into South Carolina's locker room before they played, let's pick a mid-tier team, Mizzou.
Those are a little obvious. I don't know how we could sneak it in. Anyway.
If we got a GoPro in the locker room as Shane Beamer was prepping the boys to take on Mizzou, and you saw Shane Beamer walk up to the front of the locker room, stand in front of the team, look at him, and they're all staring at Shane. They're waiting for the coaching talk, and he looked at him and he said, fellas, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go out there and win. And that was it. You'd be like, that's not good enough. If he walked up in front of the locker room and they said, coach, strategy for today. And he looked at him and he said, here's what we're going to do, boys. Win. And then they got out on the football field. And out walks Lenora Sellers to take his first snap as QB1. And he puts his hands on his helmet because we got the voice helmets now. And he's waiting for the call, and he hears Shane Beamer. Hey, Lenore, it's 1st and 10 on the 20. Win. That's what I want. I want you to win. Right, but how? That's the important part.
So I get all that. So what you're saying in the pregame speech and in the helmet, he will never use the word win, ever.
Win. No. What I'm saying is, in getting prepped for Mizzou, I want to know, how are you attacking the run game, the pass game, your defensive sets, your foundations, your block
You're
defense,
trying to
your
make it
coverage
sound
defense.
like I'm saying that's not important. That's very important, because you know what all those things do? Ultimately, if you do them correctly, you win.
I understand that. But not necessarily. Hey, if South Carolina played the perfect football game, would they have beaten Ohio State last year? No. I need you to improve.
Well, I think that depends on what kind of game Ohio State played. If they played their worst game and South Carolina played their best game, no, they still wouldn't have beat them.
All right, then let me cut to the crux, because we got to get Lonzo rattling your day with a sports flash in the best kind of way.
Making them 10s move. That's what I do.
Here's what I'm saying. If we let average fans control football teams, if average fans made decisions.
Like me, average fan.
See, I'm not, you can call yourself that. I don't think you're an average fan.
I think you implied.
I'm not an average fan. I got a master's degree in ball knowing.
Yeah, but see,
Okay.
I only have a GED. You know, Rashad's got associate. You got a master's. I got a GED. So I mean, you know,
if we let that be, if fans let, do we win, be the decision making process,
they sound just like that too.
most programs would be a show. They just would. If you let people look at it and circle in green the improvements, and you go, all right, we improved on 70% of the things this year. We got better.
And we won 3 games.
Right. And then the next year you improve on 70 more. And
There
by the
won't-
way,
there won't be a next year.
recruiting is one of those things. And you go then you go to 5 wins, then you go to 7 wins. I want you to know this. Had fans in Tallahassee with Mike Norvell followed the same timeline you're putting on Shane Beamer, Florida State would not have had Mike Norvell going 13-0 last
All right,
year.
so I don't have Florida State's record memorized. Did they get worse before they got better?
No, they were trash when he got there.
Okay, but
They were trash
But so
when he got
you're overlooking the point. Okay, so if they would have gotten worse, he wouldn't have made it to the season where he went
I
undefeated.
understand. But there are so many other factors into whether a team is better or worse.
Gamecocks, you got to win.
Record.
You got to win more games than you did last year, or Beamer's gone.
We'll talk more about it because it's the off season, and that's what we do. You know what else we do? We do sports flashes.
I don't want to. Boss ain't here. I'm not doing it. There's always room for improvement, except in this read, unless you're perfect like Rob or Nikolai Jokic, which was close as possible yesterday. Jokic, see, I told you I couldn't do it better. Jokic became the fourth player in NBA history to record at least one triple-double against every opponent in the league after a 21-point, 19-board, 15-assist effort, and a 132-110 win over Washington. Jokic went 10 of 10 from the floor, becoming the first ever player with 15, 15, and 15 and 100% shooting in the game. That's really good, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. I don't have time for another story. I will tell you this, which is not a story, it's a fact. You can tune in tomorrow at 1:30 as the Furman men's basketball team takes on Wofford right here on your home for Furman football and basketball. We're called The Fan, Upstate. Hey, man, whatever.
Into one single reduced monthly payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $1 billion in debt, earning them an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. That's 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. Program and services not available in all states.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations. This year, we don't want to
Zero room for improvement in that region. It's perfect.
Oh, no, it sucked, but that's fine. As long as it was entertaining to somebody, even if it's
Just
like
somebody.
it's like a relative or something, if they listen to me. But
Winning. I wish I had thought to grab that clip. That's a great clip.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine at Brisbane because every
all right, hit save as. Where's my thingy? What the? It has disappeared. I'll try that again. There we go.
Please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, we can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $10,000. We can help settle.
Now, what cut gets the boot? Or how do you extend it? How do you make it bigger?
In the file settings.
Or do I want to do that? Okay.
Cartwall grid, and you pump the number up. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume.
Oh, so you can like just take it up one more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oops.
And you can go rows or columns, so you don't even have to go back.
Well, I'm doing both that way. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Once they get too small, I won't be able to see them. So
tonight's games as they happen. Get the latest scores, sides, totals, props, parlays, futures, and much more with real-time, relevant sports wagertainment tonight at 7. BetMGM tonight, exclusively on the Fan
Upstate.
and on the Odyssey app.
Upstate.
WYRD Greenville,
WORD Spartanburg.
WFBC HD3 Greenville, the official sports voice of the Upstate Fan.
That read was twack. Twack will never die.
Manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah!
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 Yeah! It's the Rob Brown Show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that ends at 10 a.m.
Winning.
6 to 10 a.m. every single weekday right here on the Fan Upstate. I am Rob Brown on the other side of the metaphorical glass. This AM, the guy in charge of not just this radio broadcast, but every radio broadcast you've ever loved, the Wizard of Wave himself. He is the great one, Lonzo.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Maybe the greatest thing ever said in a movie ever. Ever. Texas said, Rob, I hate to agree with Lonzo on this one, but Buddy's right. The runway to get better has passed.
Winning.
Dude, unless you are an undefeated football team, no, it hasn't.
No. One win better than last year is winning more than last year. You're showing improvement in the W column, which is what most fans care about.
For the record, I do think it is important to go up one win. I think bowl eligibility this year is the bare minimum. I thought it was a bare minimum last year.
Yeah, it should have been last year for sure.
For the record, and let me be clear, because I don't want it to sound like I'm just gushing over the Gamecock football program. I'm not, and you shouldn't be either. To me, we had a discussion about this last year. What is the minimum expectations? And I set mine at bowl eligibility. That was the baseline, the bare minimum last year. And just so, again, we are all very clear, they did not meet the bare minimum of acceptability last year.
By the way, I think that was mine too, but I'm not sure because I'm out of RAM and there's no room to add more. I'm sorry.
They say memory's the first thing to go. Great one. Last year's bare minimum for me was bowl eligibility. And let me be abundantly clear. This is not me arguing that Shane Beamer shouldn't be feeling the heat right now. He should. Because all of the things, somebody asked this last week when we had a very similar conversation. Somebody asked last week, Rob, is Shane Beamer on the hot seat? And they said, tell me the things you would say he's done that are positive to stay off the hot seat. And I got a list. But in reality, there's only like a football thing or two on there. The list is the culture. I don't think anybody can argue that the culture around Columbia is phenomenal. Now, I would also point out, and I agree, there are still, after 4 years, next week, by the way, the end of next week, will be my 4-year anniversary here on the radio station.
Congratulations for surviving. I meant with me, for surviving with me, because,
Hey, look, Ma, we made it. So, after 4 years here, I am obviously still getting acquainted with the programs in the area, for sure. Every day, I learn something new about South Carolina or Clemson or the Panthers or the Hurricanes or the Hornets or the Hawks or the Paladins or the Terriers or whatever. Still, there's nothing bad about learning. But I have been told over and over, Rob, culture building's not that hard in Columbia. The fans are great. They're always great. Even when the team's bad, the fans are great. I'm going to tell you what the knock has been. I've been told this by many people. I'm not going to name names, but I've been told by many people, hey, Rob, watch what happens when Clemson's bad. You'll see significantly less orange in your life.
Yeah, I said that. I mean, come on. Come on. Yeah, that's a point of pride. I don't have a problem with that. It's the truth.
I wasn't going to call you out on that. But yes, I have been told when Clemson's bad, the tiger paw flags on cars will suddenly be stored in attics. Whereas when South Carolina's bad, you will not see less garnet or fewer Gamecock stickers. They'll be everywhere. So I have had a lot of people who were not going to give Shane Beamer credit for culture building because the culture's already been there. Now, to me, it just feels more hype than it did when I got here. And maybe that's Muschamp's fault. Maybe that's Beamer's credit.
You should have been here in the early years of Spurrier.
Sure.
That hype was you could feel it for sure.
And I'll ask you because you were here. Was the feeling similar under the first 2 years? Let's not say last year, the first 2 years of Shano.
No, but but anything after Muschamp, I mean anything positive after Muschamp, who never pushed his glasses up. They were just always on the tip of his nose. Anything after that was an improvement. When you looked on the field and saw people defenders not going, hey, look, that guy's got the ball, and just watch him run by.
Is the glasses on the tip of the nose? Is that the most old man thing in the game?
Yeah, but it doesn't work for your type of glasses. It's got to be the round, the kind of glasses I have. Yeah.
So there are Gamecock fans who don't want to give credit to Shane even for that. Yeah, anybody could culture build in Columbia. There's a few schools like that. A few. Florida State was not one of them. Mike Norvell gets credit for it. I would think Ohio State is. Ryan Day gets let go because Alonzo gets his wish. Anybody steps into that role, and Ohio State's culture is going to be good.
Oh, he's probably good now since
old Harborough's gone.
Yeah, well, and the coach is in the wings or in the waiting
Allegedly.
Or whatever. Yeah,
allegedly. So I think that when we are talking about two guys that to me this year must show improvement, Garrett Riley at Clemson and Shane Beamer at South Carolina. I think the important part of this discussion is to define success. For Lonzo, it's win total. That is all that matters. Do you win more games? If you win, here, I'll ask you, let me phrase it in the form of a question like Alex Trebek. Is one more win than last year acceptable? Like, will you say, okay, this was a successful year, just bowl eligibility?
As long as the overall product on the field has improved.
See, but that's what I'm saying.
But the win has to. Here's the thing, Rob. We're fighting over something we don't need to fight about, because if the overall play on the field improves, you know what happens? You win.
That's not necessarily true.
Overall, if the overall, not just wow, the guard can pull faster, or look, the receiver actually caught the ball, although that would help. Yeah, if the overall play is improved to a degree where the average fan can look at it and go, man, they got better, then you're going to get wins. Even with that, oh, I can't believe the schedule is so bad. And was tough last year and the year before and the decade before that and the half century before that. I don't know if they've been playing that long, but I think possibly.
I mean, it's a real tough schedule next year. Real tough. Ole Miss is better. LSU, I don't know if LSU is going to be better without Jaden. Bama, Oklahoma, and the Colt.
By the way, you don't know what Bama's going to be like without Saban there.
You're not wrong.
Because Saban, especially like last year, I mean, the team was not that good. They got where they got because Saban, said something, but also because he willed them to get there. You can look at it and think that they've been on the decline.
He T-bowed them to be there. That's how we say it around here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
no will to win. There's Tim to win.
Okay.
He Timmed them to win.
Okay. Well,
Sorry, Will. You're out.
He Timmed them to win.
You're out, Will. You've lost your phrase. I apologize to Wheaton, Farrell, and other Wills around the country, but it's Timmed them to win.
Come on. You don't like the Will Wheaton guy, so you want anything to, overshadow.
I don't dislike Will Wheaton. I'm just tired of hearing I look like him.
Exactly.
Wheaton. Will Wheaton. I agree in that we both demand improvement. We're just not defining what improvement is. So here, let's do peak off-season sports talk radio. Hey, generic South Carolina Gamecock fan, what is your definition of success in 2024? Text us right now on our text line at 71307. Start that text with fan or call us on the Renewal by Anderson to the Carolinas fan phone at 844-326-3663 and tell us what's your definition of success in 2024.
Wow, you sound just like another show on the station, but no, do not call fans generic. That's messed up.
Texter said, holy, you do look like Will Wheaton. I know. I've gotten him in my entire career. I've gotten that.
See, that's why he's vindictive towards the word will.
My whole career. And I want to,
even more so since the hairline's been,
I will kill you.
Have you seen Will Wheaton's hairline?
I will fight you, dude. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be ridiculous here. Go to the stream right now. All right, just go to the stream right now, and I'm gonna show you what I've been getting my entire life. Okay. I'm gonna throw it up on the stream. Facebook.com/thefanupstate, Twitter.com/thefanupstate. Get at us on YouTube by searching The Fan Upstate or The Rob Brown Show or Twitch.
That's not a good one. I mean, there's
the same everything.
No.
It's the same sparse beard.
He has
dumb
haircut. He has some colored glasses going and some pics.
Get out of my way, Ryan Reynolds. My whole life. By the way, that texter did not say the word. He actually said, holy $, $$ I appreciate that effort. You can just say the word. I don't care. All right? I don't care. Have at it. Anyway, yeah, I've been getting that my whole life.
Smart move if you're at work and you're texting and your boss just happens to look over your shoulder. You don't want to spell that stuff out. So it's a good job. Although it probably takes a lot more effort to do that thing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Oh, here's one. Let me see if I can get this one pulled up for you. This is my life.
That's like 2 right there. I don't care. Whatever. It's Friday.
All right, I can't blow it up anymore.
I lost again. Oh yeah, from a distance.
Yeah.
Oh, that works. That works. By the way, you mentioned hairline. You guys, the hairline is basically the same, although his might be a little bit higher, I think.
Me and Will Wheaton.
You and your twinsies.
All right, that's enough with Wheaton. Texter.
You said that's enough. Get him off the screen.
A new texter. I knew I'd seen you before you came to the upstate. Yeah, you did on like most seasons of Star Trek Next Generation, I think. Oh, man.
What do you mean you think? Come on.
Texter said that impression was fantastic. All my impressions are fantastic. It's A+ comedy work up in here.
Look at you. I mean, that's award-winning impressions.
Winning. All right, that's enough Will Wheaton. I hate when shows end up with Will Wheaton. It's inevitable. Happens every month. There's one day where somebody goes, "Hey, Rob, you look like Will Wheaton." I know.
Well, Rob.
I'm aware.
Rob. Will Wheaton drives the show.
And the Enterprise. All right. So, hilarious, dumb FM shock jock DJ voice aside. South Carolina fans, what is your definition of improvement? I hate for the record, I hate these questions. I hate these questions drive me up a wall. I think it's lazy. All right. But I'm just an old curmudgeon. What do I know?
And if you want to agree with Rob, answer the question 71307 without using the word winning. Because if you put win in there, then the win is more important.
Oh no, there's no escaping. We will never let it go. I'm so happy.
You know, and Rob also wearing a Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I really did not help myself today.
Yeah. So
really did not help myself with the D&D.
It's still amazing every time I see it. I'm so jealous.
All right, what is your definition of improvement for South Carolina this year? Is it 6 wins? Is it noticeable improvement in recruiting? Is it passing game improvement? Is it run game improvement? Is it better? What is your definition of improvement? All right, let's do this. Let's run to a break.
By the way, real quick, I think you could say the same thing about Clemson.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think their definition will be the same as South Carolina fans, and that would be win.
I can tell you exactly.
Win some games.
Tell you exactly what I want to see out of Clemson. To me, I need offensive productivity, specifically out of the run game. When Garrett Riley showed up, again, we interviewed him for very first media day. Mark Ryan and I scored the first in-person interview with Garrett Riley of that media day. We ran it for you that afternoon. The question that I asked Garrett Riley was, define your offensive strategy, right? Is it air raid? Is it fun and gun? Is it ground and pound? Is it Lincoln Park hybrid theory? What's your strategy here? And Garrett Riley said, we want to do both. We want to be balanced. We want to run the ball as well as we throw the ball, and maybe as frequently as we throw the ball. To me, Clemson's biggest mistake last year, hands down, was that they did not identify the correct RB1 in time. They didn't identify that Phil Maffa needed to be RB1. And again, I'm not mad at it because neither did I. All year, I kept going, you got to do more. You got to do more to work for Will Shipley. You got to spring Will. I need you to run some concepts that involve an underneath route for Shipley to get him the football. I need you to pull the backside guard, give him an extra blocker coming off the edge. I need you to this. I need you to that. I X'd and O'd getting Will Shipley to be a superstar to death. I never identified the correct move was to go to Phil Maffa. I can't be mad at Garrett Riley. I mean, I'm a radio dork with a microphone.
Go outside, nerd.
And he's the offensive coordinator of the team that he spends every single day with. But I'm not mad at him for not identifying RB1. My question mark is, do you fix that this year? Do you get it right this year? Does the run game improve back to the standard it used to be at to give Cade Klubnik an actual chance to succeed? That's the question mark. And the improvement in Clemson for me is that being answered. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, speaking of leaders and leadership, Charles Barkley said some things about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, because he's Kevin Durant, responded to them.
With a burner account?
Shockingly, he did not do them with a burner account. He actually said words into a microphone on purpose. I know, but there's a bigger conversation. The conversation is about leadership on a team, something that both South Carolina and Clemson will be looking for this year. We'll address that next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
You see.
All right, guys, quick live reading. We're coming right back. Do me a favor. Stay right there. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan of State. James on the stream said the Hornets are going to mess around and make the play-in game. We're going to talk a little Charlotte Hornets because, shockingly, I actually did watch that game last night. I said, they've won 3 in a row, and this is a beatable team. Let me check in on the Charlotte Hornets, and I watched that game, and I enjoyed watching that game. We will talk about that as the Buzz get their 4th win in a row after the All-Star break and the trade deadline. Very interesting development there, but I want to get to this before we do. I want to talk, speaking of the NBA. Charles Barkley is one of my absolute favorite people in broadcasting.
You're just a loser or a jackass. You can be A or B.
Chuck.
You just sit at home in your grandma's basement with your drawers on, typing on your damn keyboard. Shut the hell up.
Is an incredible broadcaster. Okay? He's just the best. Chuck Barkley, during the All-Star game, was providing commentary on the alternate broadcast alongside Draymond Green and others. And during the All-Star game, Chuck Barkley, for whatever reason, decided that he had some stuff to say about Kevin Durant.
What's up? What's up, man?
He said that he was, quote, a follower, not a leader, end quote. He said he was a follower, not a leader. Durant, not super stoked about that. He said, quote, I don't feel like I want people to call me a leader, but I also don't want people to say I'm not one either, because they don't see what goes on behind the scenes of what I talk about or my intentions or relationships that I've built with my teammates and my support staff. I'm not as charismatic as my peers. I don't have a personality that's fit for TV like my peers. You've got to sell what you're doing as well, and I haven't sold it enough. I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I need people to call me a leader, but I also don't feel like I want people to say I'm not one either. We'll start with this. Kevin Durant is still an excellent basketball player. Kevin Durant is averaging 28.2 points, 6.6 boards, and 5.7 assists this season for the Suns, who are currently 5th in the West. Kevin Durant has been bagged on the entire time by Barkley, who last year told CBS the 2-time NBA champion is, quote, very sensitive, end quote, and, quote, part of a generation that can't be criticized.
Well, he is right on all parts. The only way he could win a championship was to go to a championship team. He's had a chance to lead at the places where he's been, which has been a few, and he can't.
Barkley also said, quote, no disrespect to Kevin.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, listen, I know this has been said on radio a billion times and will a billion times more. You can't just say no disrespect and then the next thing you say isn't disrespectful. It is right up there when someone starts a phrase with, not to sound racist, but whatever they say next is going to sound that way. That's just how it goes. If you have to preface a thing with not to sound racist, then the next thing you know what you're about to say sounds racist. All right?
Rob, don't be offended by this, but
yeah. Not to be disrespectful, but your mom's ugly. Like, that's not how that okay.
We all know, but you don't say it out loud. I mean, come on.
Chuck said, quote, no disrespect to Kevin, but Kevin's a follower. He's not a leader. He's proven that on all his stops. Devin Booker's a hell of a player also. I think he's going to have to take the initiative and take the Suns team to the next level. But I said the same thing with Boston. One of your guys has to step forward. He has to step forward. And for me, for Phoenix to be successful, it has to be Booker. End quote. Barkley's comments were brought up to Frank Vogel, head coach of the Suns. He said, quote, he definitely leads by example, but he also speaks up when he needs to. Not every player is going to be a rah-rah type. Every player leads in their own way. You have to lead within your personality. I learned that as a coach a long time ago, that I can't come in and try to be Rick Pitino. As much as he inspired me to get into coaching, our personalities are different. Let's kind of break this down just a little bit, shall we? For the record, Frank Vogel's not wrong. Okay? He's not wrong. I will tell you right now, this may come as a shock to you. I am also not a guy who stands up in front of team meetings and goes, let's go, guys. Get it right. Here we go. Let's go. I'm a dude that prefers to show up, do my work, hopefully do a good job, hopefully win some awards, and when it's time to have those meetings, be able to address the issues without being a cheerleader.
Yeah, because I got to tell you, in our after show meetings, you're definitely not that guy. You're just really negative.
I am such a quiet dude when it comes to that Lonzo and I's after show meetings are us just sitting in chairs facing opposite directions for a couple hours.
Can't even look at each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the desks are, but that's not the point. Here's the thing, though. Durant scoring 28, 6, and 6. That's good enough to win. You build a team around that guy, it's good enough to win, for sure. But man, you kind of need to at least be vocal. And it's one thing for Frank Vogel to say, oh, he leads by example. Dude, scoring 28 is good enough to win with the team around you. Scoring 28 doesn't win you basketball games. There's a lot of guys in the league that score 28 on some crappy teams. All right? That's not it. Or he shows up and he works hard. Yeah, most of the guys in the NBA do. You can't really get to, and you certainly can't stay in the NBA if you don't work hard. Even the guys that don't care, like Nikola Jokic, I promise you that guy works harder than me or anybody listening to this radio station. You do not get to where they are without doing that. That's still not good enough. That being said.
By the way, I'm offended. I hit a triple-double almost every day.
The verbal triple-double. I want to disagree with Chuck Barkley on this as much as I like Chuck. I want to disagree with Chuck. I want to say not every leader has to be a cheerleader. Not every leader has to have the megaphone. Not every leader has got to be the guy that's standing on the stage. Sometimes your leader can be a guy who goes out there and does his thing, and he not drags, he brings people with him. He has people line up and go, I want to go with that guy. The problem with Kevin Durant is this. I don't see guys wanting to follow Durant. I see guys wanting to play with LeBron. I see guys wanting to play with Nikola Jokic. I see guys wanting to play with Luka Doncic. I see guys wanting to play with Tatum and Brown in Boston. I see guys wanting to play with, Tyrese Halliburton, first-year guy. And during the All-Star game, Tyrese Halliburton was everywhere, being with the dudes, being that guy. Kevin Durant's the dude that gets done with basketball and pops on Twitter. That's not it, man.
There was one time where it would seem like people wanted to play with Kevin Durant when Kyrie Irving and those guys, got together in New Jersey, I believe it was. That didn't work out, though.
James popped on the stream. He said Durant is a mercenary.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Very few of us disagree with that. Even the move to Phoenix, which is probably, I would say, since he left Oklahoma, probably the least championship caliber team he's played on, and they're 5th in the West. They've got Devin Booker, a future face of the league. This Phoenix team is good. And the reality is when you get to the point that you're viewed that way, I'd say James Harden's the same way. When you get to the point
but he's never been viewed, or you've never thought that he could possibly be a leader. Kevin Durant has the talent and the ability to be one if he applied himself.
I think people sleep on the numbers James Harden's turned in his career. Like, he's on a lot of records.
Yeah, but that doesn't, you don't look at, there's some guys you look at and go, that guy's leading that team. I've never looked at him and thought that there was ever a chance that he would do that.
To me, James Harden is the guy, and this is the other aspect of it to me. The best thing that you can do, and again, this is just my philosophy. Some of you may disagree. If you want to be a leader, do you know what the best thing you can do is? Your job. Before anything else, do your job. There's a meme that went around on the internet for a long time. And it's a real simply drawn cartoon, and it's got two sides. And on one side, it's got a bunch of people pulling a big block, and there's a guy on top of it with a megaphone yelling at them. And then on the other side, it's got a bunch of people pulling a block, and it's got the same guy, but he's out front of those people also pulling on a rope. And the one with the guy standing on top is labeled boss, and the one with the guy pulling along with the crew is called leader, right? And I think that honestly, it is one of the more profound things I've ever seen come out of the absolute hellhole that is the internet.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. The internet can be a difficult place.
It's a great meme. And I think it is, as much as I really dislike when things are turned into simplified cartoon memes, I think it's a pretty good one. You have to do your job above anything else. James Harden's job as a point guard is to make the other four guys on the floor better and incorporate it into the offense. I don't think he does that. That's been the James Harden problem. Kevin Durant's job is to be a megastar that improves improves the players around him by being so damn good that just by being on the floor with the Durantula, your game is made better for it and by it. And I unfortunately don't see that out of Kevin Durant. I want to defend Kevin Durant, and I want to, as much as I love him, say Chuck's wrong here. But I can't. Because when I look at Kevin Durant, I see a guy that plays his game, is real good at it, but has an opportunity to elevate this team to a different level and just doesn't. He just doesn't. Here's the problem that you bump into. For any team that leans on a guy like that team leans on Kevin Durant, the superstar has to do that. The superstar has to do that. And that's why I think I have to say Chuck's kind of got a point here. And I look at, I look at Shane Beamer coaching a team that I think desperately needs leadership right now. And I see Shane being out there in front with the office skits on Twitter. I see Shane being out there in the locker room with the sunglasses and the dances, as Mark Stoops called him out. My question is, do you feel like this coaching staff has a bona fide leader out front in Shane Beamer? A guy that on game day, you look at and you go, this guy's in control. With Garrett Riley at Clemson, do you feel like you have that guy? That guy you look at and you go, this guy is in control right now. Because if the answer to those things is no, then you're in trouble, both of you. Because I feel that way about Phoenix. I see a guy out there that's doing all the right things. He's putting up his 28-6-6 in game. But is he elevating Devin Booker? I don't think he is. Is he elevating Chris Paul? Is he dragging, and I know Chris Paul's been banged up this year, but is he dragging Chris Paul through the end of his career? I don't see it.
I didn't even know Chris Paul was still playing.
Well, he's been injured for a while.
I was going to say, you would think you would hear more from him,
Yeah.
so, but if he's been injured.
Bradley Beal's banged up. Is he making Bradley Beal better? Grayson Allen's on that team. Is he making Grayson Allen better? No. I see a bunch of guys who are playing their role and not much else. Now, I look at Steph Curry. Steph Curry, when he's on the floor, the other four guys are better for it. And it's not just because he's a sniper that can hit from the logo. It's because Steph Curry understands the things he needs to do to spring Draymond underneath. He understands the things he needs to do to help Clay get shots. That's right. Chris Paul's, they traded him. I'm an idiot. I told you, he's been banged up. Whoever it's around, who's running point? Devin Book's running point. Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic. That's my other son. Could remember who the fifth son was. Does he make those guys around him better? I don't think so. I think Steph Curry does. I think LeBron James does. I think Nikola Jokic does. That's why nobody questions those guys. I do question Kevin Durant. James said Durant's a guy you call when your 73-win team can't beat one guy when it matters. And I think Durant's happy to be that. That's the problem. I think Durant's happy to be that. I think Durant is happy to be a 26-6-6 guy who's in the conversation, but never the conversation. I don't think LeBron's ever been happy to be in the conversation. I don't think Nikola Jokic is happy to be in the conversation. I don't think Steph Curry's happy to be in the... Steph Curry, I genuinely mean this, I think Steph Curry's miserable right now because the Dubs can't elevate. And I think he shoulders that. When the Suns go on a 3, 4, 5 game losing streak, I don't think Durant shoulders it the way that other guys do. And to me, that's the mark of a leader. When things are sideways, do you shoulder it or do you delegate it? Durant delegates it. Durant is hoping that Booker and Beal and Allen and Nurkic are going to carry him. I think Steph shoulders it. And I think that's the primary difference. And I think that's what Chuck's driving at. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 3. We want to remind you that coming up in about 35 minutes, yesterday we got a chance to sit down and record an interview with WWE Legend R-Truth. We'll talk to Truth coming up at about 9:20. Stick around. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's the Fan Upstate.
Smith.
All right, guys, got to step away for a live read. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. we're back.
Hey, look, there's a Buckeye scoring a touchdown. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. Please don't go to a bad team.
He's good at footballing.
He is.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. It is Rob Brown. It is the great one, Alonzo, with you. 844-326-3663. That's the number to the Renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas fan phone. If you want to jump in here, you may also shoot us a text at 71307. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. And we will read them on the radio broadcast today. So, Lonzo said something during the break there because it is officially draft season. They showed Marvin Harrison Jr., the Ohio State wide receiver, scoring a touchdown on the old Televisión a minute there. And Lonzo made a plea with the football gods. He said, please don't go to a bad team.
There's only one way he wouldn't, and that's if someone trades up to get him.
Bingo. And I got to think there's going to be some teams that might be interested. Here's the thing. He's not a quarterback. The problem is that there are right now considered to be, from the analysis I've been reading, there are a big 3-0 QBs. There are a big 3-0 QBs. They are Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels out of LSU. Those are the big three in the quarterback spot right now. And so the best thing for Marvin Harrison Jr. would be if teams start a bidding war for those quarterbacks. Because the only way to make sure you get one of them is to be in those top three picks. We do not know if Chicago's going quarterback, though my suspicion right now is that they are. That they're going to trade Justin Fields, pick up probably like a third and a fourth or a second for Justin Fields, and go ahead and get Caleb Williams. I don't know why he's the consensus, but he's the consensus. Very few things that my colleague and I, Mark Ryan, line up on. One of them is that Caleb Williams is not the best quarterback in this draft. We agree on that. But that seems to be the consensus guy. And the expectation is that's where Chicago, or my expectation is that's where Chicago is going to go. That means that quarterback one's off the board at 1. No doubt Washington is going quarterback at 2. The only question is which one do they go with? Now, this is where Marvin Harrison Jr. finds himself in an interesting spot. The belief right now is that New England at 3 is not going to go quarterback. That they are going to trade back, stockpile. They're going to keep with the Belichickian method, and they are going to try to address their quarterback spot via a vet. By the way, isn't it fun? Nobody's mentioning New England as a potential landing spot for Justin Fields. It's been Atlanta. It's been Pittsburgh. It's been Seattle. Nobody has mentioned New England as a spot.
Because they got their guy.
No, they don't. No, they definitely
Bailey
don't.
Zapke, man. I mean, that's the QB of the future.
Old Bailey. Nobody in the world believes that Bailey Zappi, and I think at this point, nobody in the game believes that Mac Jones is the guy right now. So, I am going to go with either Atlanta, Pittsburgh, or New England ends up with Justin Fields. That means that Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming off the board at either 3 or 4, I think. I don't think there's a drop for that guy. And there's a reason for that. This is a wildly deep wide receiver draft compared to most of them. There are as many as 6 guys that could come off the board by the end of the first round. I don't think all 6 will. It's good news for Carolina, because I think you got to go. I think you got to find a Marcus Colston in this draft somewhere. And at 33, one of those top flight wide receivers is going to be available at 33. Maybe 2, maybe 3, depending on how the draft shakes out. Marvin Harrison Jr. in a deep wide receiver draft is still considered generational. If Marvin Harrison Jr. was a regular first-round wide receiver, I think there's a chance he could fall down the board a little bit. Because there's guys you roll the dice on. Some teams might value one wide receiver higher than the other. It all shakes out your way. Marvin Harrison Jr. is getting drafted at 11, 12, 13, somewhere to one of those middle-of-the-pack teams. The problem is, even in a year where there's as many as 6 guys that could end up in the first round at wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. is still head and shoulders the best of all of them. Head and shoulders the best of all of them. So where is he going to end up at? My suspicion, he's getting drafted 3rd overall. No worse than 4th. I will absolutely throw some money at him being drafted inside the top 5. That's not even a question mark to me. It's a guarantee. It's guaranteed.
What if he takes a test and doesn't do really well, just like CJ Stroud?
I really do wonder, after what happened with CJ Stroud, I really do wonder how many teams are going to walk away from that as a major evaluation point. Now, keep in mind, we talk about Justin Fields and the fact that he was a bad tester and it dinged him up a little bit. You got to go back and look at some other guys like Vince Young out of Texas. Vince Young got dinged up for his test taking. And the rumor was when he got to the league, he was not mentally prepared to handle an NFL offense at the quarterback position. That's part of the reason he rinsed out. Because of that, I don't think the tester going away, I just don't think they're going to have quite the priority they used to.
You mean they might actually look and see what they did on the field? No.
Again, Vince Young won a Heisman, won
I
a
know.
Natty, beat Pete Carroll, beat Matt Leinart.
I get it, but wide receiver position is different than a quarterback.
I agree. I don't think it is going to play. I think those tests will still matter for quarterbacks because it is, even if you are a wildly athletic quarterback, still a very cerebral position. I just don't think it's going to hold the weight that it used to. Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming off the board at 4 or earlier. Book it. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the final hour of the show. Give you a little weekend preview of the sports world. In the next segment, R-Truth will replay his interview for you at 9:20. That's all coming up on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Don Staley's Gamecocks have dominated the college basketball landscape this season, and they've locked up at least a part of the regular season SEC title and are one step closer to winning it outright. The Gamecocks knocked off Alabama for the 22nd time in a row, 72-44, which also notched Staley her 600th career victory. The win marked the 26th on the season and 13th in conference. The LSU men's basketball team pulled off back-to-back top 25 upsets, knocking off South Carolina first and Kentucky earlier this week. But the Tigers will pay for it. The SEC has fined LSU $100,000 for storming the court after the win, because you shouldn't do that. You absolutely shouldn't. And it will go up even more if they keep doing that. Tune in tomorrow at 1:30 as the Furman men's basketball team takes on Wofford right here on your home for Paladins football and basketball, The Fan Upstate.
So why wait to experience the future of television? Signing up for a free trial takes seconds. Just head over to philo.com/Andrew. That's philo.com/Andrew. Sick and tired of aching joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's Charlie James. The state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only option. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain.
Why you tell us now?
This pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced.
We just got an email about more pressure washing. First of all, are they going to do that in the rain? And second of all, it's kind of late.
Like, go move your cars?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Well, you should, because it says to Greenville and you're in Greenville. So can you pressure wash in the rain?
Yeah. It's not the same as washing your car.
Well, I know, but I mean, I just think it'd be harder to see, but maybe I'm wrong. So we may be needing to go out and move our vehicles. Maybe the powers that be will offer to come up and move all of our cars.
Nobody driving my car. I ain't crazy like that.
Well, in both of our cases, it would take a major seat adjustment if said person were to move our car. So, and you know how hard it is to get your seat back where exactly it was. So. Oh, okay, Steven. You'd think Rob would know that since he's a pressure washer king on Xbox.
I am a Xbox pressure washer. The final hour of the day, the final hour of the week starts now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. How do you do?
Can we skip to the next segment? I just want to skip to the next segment.
We can't. Actually.
Okay. All right. Fine.
That's not how it works. Coming up in the next segment, we will replay our interview yesterday. We recorded an interview with Ron R-Truth Killings, WWE legend. He's a Carolina fella from right up the road in Charlotte. As a matter of fact, gave out some love to the Charlotte sports community during the interview. We'll replay that for you coming up in the next segment. Much enjoyment out of that interview. Just a dude, man. Just a dude. Dude was just having a good time. It was cool. A lot of folks you get in here and it's time to start talking whatever with them. And, you know, they got their game face, right? Like it's business. Ron R-Truth Killings was just fun. So we'll play that interview for you coming up here in just a little while. Before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the sports weekend upcoming, because we got a good one. We've already run down the fact that spring training in Major League Baseball got underway yesterday evening.
My loins have been tingling
for baseball, and we got it started yesterday with the Dodgers and the Padres. The Dodgers absolutely wrecked San Diego yesterday, 14-1 your final. The Dodgers put up an 8th spot in the first inning. Musgrove took the L after getting shellacked. 4 hits, no outs recorded. Today, we get a lot more baseball. Coming up today, as we have got 4 spring training games lined up, all of them in the 3 o'clock window. 3:05, the Royals and the Rangers, the White Sox and the Cubs. 3:08, the Padres and the Dodgers. 10 after 3, the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, but it is tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. You're only a day away that you get a couple of excellent baseball things. You get Bet for the Cycle from noon to 4 on the BetQL Network, hosted by former Major League Baseball player Cody Decker and yours truly, Rob Brown, as well as our young Padawan hating-ass Mario. Mario ordinarily would be joining us around this time to break down NBA shooty hoops, but unfortunately, his real job came into play, so unable to join us today is the hating-ass one. We will hopefully get him back next week, but you will be able to hear him on the radio broadcast on BetQL and Bet for the Cycle tomorrow. Looking forward to that. You also have a host of spring games that are taking place tomorrow, including the beginning of spring for our Atlanta Braves. They actually tip off spring training day tomorrow. They are on the road. Well, everybody's on the road right now down in Florida in the Grapefruit League as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays, the Red Sox, and the Orioles. Also at 5 after 1, the Marlins and the Cardinals, the Yankees, and the Tigers are on at 105. So are the Pirates and the Twins. Just a couple of minutes later, the Phillies and the Blue Jays at 110, the Cardinals and the Mets. Then we get the 3:05 window that opens with the Cubs and the Giants, the Reds and the Guardians, the Rockies and the Athletics, the Mariners, the White Sox, the Rangers and the Royals at 3:10, the Rockies and the D-backs, the Dodgers and the Angels, and the Brewers and the Padres. We wrap it all up tomorrow evening, 6:05 p.m. when the Astros take on the Nationals. Also, we'll tell you that tomorrow evening, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits are at the house tomorrow. Very cool day. It is not only Swamp Rabbit hockey night. If you're into the rivalry, if you're one of those people that tell me, as so many of you do, that the rivalry never sleeps, that the Palmetto Bowl never sleeps, tomorrow's a big day for you because at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena, the Gamecocks, the Tigers, they square up on ice. The Palmetto Bowl on ice tomorrow. South Carolina versus Clemson at the Well. Y'all, I'm not going to get to go to this game, unfortunately. And I'm going to tell you, I despise missing it. I hate missing it. I can't make it tomorrow, but I went last year. I emceed it last year. It's a blast, dude. It's a blast. It's a small college football game environment. It's great. So if you have it, grab your tickets, go see that, and then stick around because tomorrow night, First Responders Night for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits at the Well. They'll be celebrating our firefighters, police officers, our emergency medical service technicians, our first responders being celebrated at the Well tomorrow evening. They will have out, this is pretty rad. They did it last year too. They bring out all the heavy equipment. So you can go hands-on. You can go see up close and personal some of the frontline stuff that our first responders work with. And then, of course, the Rabbits at home. Then on Sunday, it is professional wrestling night. Hell yeah! For the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. R-Truth will be there as a guest, as a matter of fact, as will I. And I've already been told Rob Brown gets some promo cutting time alongside R-Truth. Do you think I can even hope to keep up on the mic with R-Truth?
I think he's very complimentary. So
he
will go at whatever your pace is.
He is. I'm going to tell you, you know what the biggest fear is? I'm going to get broken. The biggest fear is he breaks me.
Well, as you'll find out in the interview coming up.
He broke me.
Well, he breaks everybody.
Both of us.
He breaks everybody.
He broke the show yesterday.
Because that's one of the questions that I ask him about. Is there anyone that he hasn't broken?
He broke us in the first 3 damn minutes of the interview.
Well, he broke us before the interview started.
He broke us before we pushed record. It's spectacular. We'll play that interview for you next. And then for those of you that are wrestling fans, I highly suggest that you find your way to the Well on Sunday for Professional Wrestling Day with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It is going to be a lot of fun. I am looking forward to it greatly. We have got NASCAR. And Joey B said, "Do broke Brock Lesnar. You have no hope." He did, man.
So good. I consider myself Undertaker level of being straight man, but when I'm in on the joke, when you're not in on the joke and you don't know what's coming, that's tough.
Yeah, He's officially goated. So you will get that interview with Ron R-Truth Killings coming up in the next segment of the radio broadcast. He will be at the Well on Sunday for Wrestling Night. Over in the world of NASCAR, the boys go racing in the ATL this weekend. Atlanta Motor Speedway is next up. You know, I talked about Atlanta a little bit earlier in the week. I talked a little bit about the way that Atlanta's track used to be. I've been to Atlanta twice. And I will tell you that I frankly did not enjoy my 2 races at Atlanta. Atlanta's a different track now. Atlanta's a different track now because it's a mini Daytona. They got rid of the traditional cookie cutter setup. They have built it out wider with bigger banks than it used to have. And so now Atlanta runs like Daytona. It is more wide open. It is more grouped up. The draft becomes more important, which means it is more important to stick with other cars. In the old races at Atlanta, cars got split up. They ended up in different places on the track. You ended up with interval racing. Guys were not racing each other. They were racing the clock. You found out pretty early in the race, all right, these 4, 5, 6 cars, they're front runners. These 20 cars, they're middle of the pack runners. These handful of cars, they're guys that are just trying to finish. They're guys that are just going to try to be on the track when the checker drops. And it led to interval racing. Guys kind of staying out of the way so that nobody got beat up. It's not that way in Atlanta anymore. Now Atlanta on Sunday becomes must-see TV. That race is at 3:00 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is must-see TV. And yes, pulling for our guy, Corey LaJoy, to get it done. Pulling for my guy, Corey LaJoy. Hope he runs well.
How you doing?
That's my guy. That's my dog. Hopefully he runs well. So we got that coming up for you this weekend. So we got spring training. We got NASCAR. We got a bunch of hockey this weekend too. Going to be a real good weekend in hockey.
I think you're forgetting, the thing that starts the sports weekend off at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Perth, Australia, you're home for WWE Elimination Chamber. That is coming up. Yesterday got the video of Rhea Ripley and Grayson Waller banging down shoeies on stage.
It's just, that's gross, man. It just is. It just, I don't get it.
You're either in or you're out, Lonzo. You're either in or you're out, man.
I don't even understand that statement. What the heck does that mean? What would possess you to think, I'm going to pour a drink in my shoe? Well, probably
aren't you big tradition? You're a big tradition guy.
Unless it's stupid. Yeah. I mean, if it's stupid, I'm not germ guy. That guy's on in the afternoon. I bet that guy, we'll call him Diesel, would he drink out of a shoe? Would Diesel drink out of a shoe? I'm going to text him. Because I want to know. I want to know. Because it's just gross.
Oh man.
So Rob Brown, noted hater of feet, has drank out of a shoe before.
Hater of other people's feet. My feet are fine.
So you would drink out of your shoe, but not somebody else's shoe.
In the right circumstance.
Okay.
You think I haven't done dumber things than a shoey? I've had an Alabama Slam.
I'm not even sure that's really what it's called. I think you made that up.
That's what he calls it. That's what Grayson Waller calls it.
Yeah, but he's from Australia. So.
That's where it comes from.
Does it?
Yes.
So the first person to drink out of a shoe came from a penal colony, down under.
Australia is a lovely country. I hope to visit one day. And I will tell you right now, should I find myself in Aussie, oi, 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 watching a rugby contest against the All Blacks? Somebody rolls up and says, we're all doing a shoey. Are you in?
I just sent him a text. We'll see if he answers, but
there is only one drawback to the shoey, and that's the inside of your shoes wet. But hey, sacrifices must be made in the name of greatness.
It's nasty. I mean, fungus and shoe odor.
See, ladies and gentlemen, Lonzo wonders why I don't want people's gross damn feet in my work area. It's because we said,
but you would drink.
Wait, I'm not done with the sentence. It's important that I point out that Lonzo said to drink out of a shoe, fungus. There's no fungus on my feet. I wash my feet.
Allegedly. I mean, we don't know.
allegedly.
We don't know. I ain't seen your feet. I'm not really interested in your feet, but I haven't seen them. You know, our beef, if you will, because he hasn't made an appearance in a while, about the shoes off in the office is that you don't eat or drink off of the floor or with your feet. This, you are doing that. I've just received a text from Diesel, and he said only Bailey's.
Which is hilarious because
then
he's got a
then he sent this. I don't know what that means, but you know.
texture said, "You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?"
Okay, what's the significance there? You'll have to explain it to me since I don't drink.
It is from old Greg. It's an internet thing that I am 0% shocked you were unfamiliar with.
Okay, cool.
I will share it with you after the show is over.
All right.
It's pretty spectacular comedy. Want to go to a club? Old Greg, right? You know what? I feel good. There are days I'm like, oh man, am I doing the show right? Like, have I built up? Like, is there an audience for this show? And then you guys hit me with multiple old Greg references. I'm doing just fine. Just fine.
I was to say, there's a couple of awards that would say that you're doing all right.
Just
saying.
Fine.
I just don't. You know, I will do lots of weird things, but I will not drink out of a shoe. That's just
not hanging with the cool kids.
That's just, as they say, nasty.
All right, here's what we're gonna do, kids. We're gonna run to a break. When we come back, WWE legend R-Truth killings. Join Lonzo and I for a sit-down interview yesterday. I will tell you, go to the stream, facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, search The Fan Upstate on YouTube, search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube, search The Rob Brown Show on Twitch, and pull it up on your phone because R-Truth joined us live on our video stream yesterday.
Take your shoe off, pour you one, and enjoy it during the interview. Nasty.
Go ahead, grab yourself a shoey. Let's have some fun. We talk to R-Truth when we come back.
I'm going to drink a lot of beer tonight, Jim. Budweiser.
On The Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. All right. Do me a favor. Will you throw us in queue real quick so I can make sure the audio on this is going to work? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Have to tinkle.
Are you guys ready for an impression? NCAA football 2025 EA Sports Ticket Game. There you go. EA Sports College Football coming your way this summer. Today announced that each player in the game will get a free copy of the game and $600. And some players are talking about opting out of that, demanding more. Here's my take on that. Are you crazy? Do you realize the kind of promotion you're getting for free for being in the game? I always wondered, use my name and likeness all you want in NCAA football.
The old Greg references. I love it so much. I'm so proud of all of you.
Given what it can do for your profile and your brand. So, look, let's all embrace the NCAA football. We're going to be playing that in a few months, and I can't wait. I'm Mark Ryan.
All sides with Mark Ryan, 3 to 7 p.m. today on the Fan Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, and on the Odyssey app.
Ingles Markets is proud to sponsor the Mark Ryan Sports Spin. From the playing fields to the stands to your own living room, Ingles Markets has everything you need to fuel your athlete and satisfy all the hungry fans in your life. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard escaped.
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great
Your
savings.
leopard is in my kitchen.
Casualty insurance company affiliates and other insurers not available at
Is that a euphemism, ma'am?
No, but doggy door, back door might be.
No, they always have the best deals in town. Remember that amazing reposado your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Reposado? What the heck is that? Sounds like pasta.
I do like a pasta.
I'm a fan of the pasta.
It's been years in the making, and now Greenville is home to the most epic comic and game store around. Borderlands Comics and Games. Reimagined bigger and better than before. The state's premier hobby shop is
Got to get over there and line us up some more guests, maybe.
Like that.
Like some Danhausen.
amazing location at 410 South Pleasantburg. Live the Borderlands experience for yourself. We've gone to a whole new level. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Proud sponsors of the Upstate Pulse. Borderlands Comics and Games. Read, build, play. Salute the troops at Bon Secours Wellness Arena for Military Appreciation Night on Saturday, February 24th, presented by Budweiser. Help us honor our hometown heroes by donating to Hockey for Heroes.
All right, so I will turn this up in a minute, and then you gotta remember to hit play when the music is playing.
Yep.
And just a reminder. I know you know how to do this, but just covering bases and stuff.
I do prefer my bases to be covered.
You don't just provide cookie cutter portfolios? No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals. But you still sell investments that
How would you know about covered bases? You were born on third base.
We're a fiduciary, the highest
Whatever that means.
for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
Born on third base thinking you hit a triple.
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structure, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly.
Apologize for the yawning, but look outside. It's that kind of day.
It's a yawn kind of day, bro. Bro. Did you see he is I didn't say it. I said nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Yes, Stephen Love for the U.S. women's team. Watch Alex Morgan put a PK in the back of the net the other day. Do I need to intro this or just let the intro in the?
What?
Do I need to intro this or should I just push play? Since I intro,
You should just hit play after the music.
Okay.
After the liner.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio, is on your computer. If you're watching us on our stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or on YouTube by searching and subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. Rob Brown, Alonzo, and now pleased to be joined by, I'm going to go ahead and say the leader of the Judgment Day. I don't care what they say. The legendary R-Truth on your computer. If you're watching us on our stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or on YouTube by searching and subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. Rob Brown, Alonzo, and now pleased to be joined by, I'm going to go ahead and say the leader of the Judgment Day. I don't care what they say. The legendary R-Truth on the show with us. What's up, big dog? How we doing, man?
What's up? What's up, man? I'm glad to be on here, man. I'm doing great.
I'm glad to hear it. Dude, what a busy handful of
All right, ladies and
months
gentlemen.
for you. It is great to see you not just showing up every week, man, but being highlights of every show that you are on, justified for. Yeah, I'm going with it. Hall of Fame career. What's the last couple of months been like for you, man?
Man, the last couple of months been extremely, man. Just so
Rob
welcoming,
Brown,
man.
Alonzo,
The
and
love
now
is in the
pleased to
air.
be joined.
You know what I'm saying?
by-
Like,
I'm going to
this
go ahead and
right
say
here,
the leader of the
this
judgment day. I
doesn't-
don't
it
care
gives
what
no
they say.
justice to
The
it. You see that?
legendary
I saw it.
R-Truth
How do you
on the
show
show
up and
with us.
start
What
having heart
heartbeat
flying
flying
out
out
of your
your
head?
head?
What
What
is
is
What's
that?
up? What's up, man? I'm glad to be on here, man.
See
I'm
now?
great.
I'm glad
Magical.
to hear. Dude, what a
That's
busy
incredible.
handful of
The man
months
has
for
so
you.
many,
It
even
is
on a
great to see
virtual
you
internet
not just
stream,
showing up
dude.
every week, man, but
Hey,
being
won't nobody believe
highlights
that,
of
but y'all
every
saw it,
show
right?
We did.
that
We
you
did.
are on,
I think I saw
justified
it.
for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
going with it.
Okay.
Hall of Fame career. What's the last couple of months been like for you, man?
As
Man,
someone who's
the last couple of months
an
been
older
extremely,
person,
man.
I am
Just
55,
so
and
welcoming,
I look
man.
at you,
The love
and you
is
are
in
in
the
amazing
air.
shape.
You know
How
what
in the
I'm saying?
world
Like,
do you stay in that kind of
this
shape?
right here,
Because you look the same
this
as you did
doesn't- it
10
gives
years ago, or
no
20 years
justice
ago,
to
or
it. You see
30
that?
years ago.
You
I
gotta
saw it.
come on,
Wait,
Lonzo. Come
Yeah,
on.
how do you
you do.
show up and start
I
having
appreciate that,
Well
man.
done. Well done.
I
Well
would be
done.
straight up and honest. I just tell everybody when they ask me this
See
question.
now? Magical.
I've never stopped working out since I graduated high school.
That's incredible.
I
The
never
man's just
stopped.
showing
You got to
it
think,
even on
the
a
average
virtual
person,
internet
once you
stream,
graduate
dude.
high school,
And
you're
won't
not
nobody
going on
believe
to
that,
like
but
be
y'all
an
saw it,
athlete,
right?
We
sports,
did.
whatever.
We did. At
You
least
get
I
into
think
the
I
work
saw
where
it.
you get
Yeah.
into,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You stop the workout, the stretching, you stop all of that, and
As
you
someone
live,
who's
and you
an older person,
become whatever you
and I am
become. You know what I'm saying?
55,
But
and I
me,
look at
I
you,
never.
and you are in amazing shape.
Come on,
How in
Rob.
the
Let me
world
tell
do
you
you
the
stay in
story.
that kind
No,
of shape?
but I
Because you look
never
the same
stopped
as you
working
did
out.
10 years ago, or
I
20
still do
years
the
ago,
same
or
workout
30 years
that I
ago.
was doing when I was playing
come on,
football in high
Lonzo.
school.
Come on.
Yeah. So how do you stay disciplined
I
like that? Is there ever a
appreciate that,
day where you
man.
go, yeah, I'm not feeling
I would
it
be
today.
straight
I'm
up
not
and
going to
honest,
do it.
like I tell everybody when
Discipline
they
is
ask me this
key.
question. You have to
I've
say
never stopped
discipline,
working
man.
out
Like a lot of people
since
say
I graduated
motivation.
high school.
Sometimes life will knock the motivation
I never
out of your
stopped.
butt. You
You
know
got
what
to
I'm saying?
think, the
So,
average person,
discipline is key,
once you
man, for a
graduate
lot
high
of stuff,
school,
man.
if you're not
Discipline
going on to like
is
be
strength.
an athlete, play sports, whatever,
You have
you get
talked
into the
truth
work where you get
about
into,
your
you know what I'm saying?
career and
You
the
stop
the
the
the road
workout, the
you've gone down,
stretching, you stop
and
all
talk
of that,
about
and you
discipline.
live,
There have been some
and you
spots in the career where I think a
become whatever
lot
you
of people
become.
could
You know
have. I
what I'm
think a
saying?
lot of
But
people would have
me, I
given up,
never.
and you kept pressing on to
Come
make
on,
sure you
Rob.
kept
Let me tell
getting
you
these
something.
opportunities.
But I
And
never stopped
it's
working
led
out.
to you becoming,
I
I
still do the
think,
same
maybe
workout
the most
that I was doing when I
over
was playing
guy
football
on
in
the
high school.
roster right now,
How
with
do
the
you
exception of
stay
Cody. I want to
disciplined
talk
like
about
that? Is there
that
ever a
coming
day
up
where
in a
you go,
minute.
yeah,
But
I'm
talk
not
to
feeling
me
it
a
today.
little
I'm
bit
not going to do
about
it.
the road that you
Discipline
took
is
and some of
key.
those road bumps, and how you just kept pressing to end up in this spot where here we are in 2024. And not only are you still in the biggest brand on the biggest show in professional wrestling, but you're a mainstay on that brand and in that show.
Yes, man. It's a miracle. I was like to say I'm a miracle, man. I'm a walking testimony, if you will. But it's coming from being in the streets, doing everything you can do in the streets from A to the Z, to going and meeting someone in a halfway house, Jack Crockett, and being at a point in your life where you done graduated high school, still working out, by the way, but you've graduated. Excuse me. And I'm believing in my, when you see those pictures of myself and Tupac Shakur and all that, I was still in high school doing that. So I left football and I was like, okay, music is what I want to do. Rap, this is my thing. So when I got locked up on a certain occasion of time and met Jack Crockett, I was trying to get Jack Crockett to invest in my music to where I can, be this great rap star. But Crockett said, no, he said, I never gave back before. God want me to invest in you, but it's not money. It's just, this won't cost you nothing but time and dedication. At first, I thought he wanted me to cut his grass or something. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, dog. Come on, you meet somebody in the slammer and you gonna give him a job. What kind of job you think? I'm gonna hang some sheetrock or cut some grass or something. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he took me to 3 WCW shows, man. And he was sitting there with me because he was about to walk away from the business. And he was like, that could be you the same way you was rapping to the inmates and dancing. You can mix that with professional wrestling and you be the first of your kind. And you better invest in yourself. You won't have to ask nobody else to ever invest in you. I was at that point in my life where I needed something. And that was my ram in the bush. That was my, sometimes you got to go a different route to get where you want to get to. Or you're going to go back to, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted something different and I chose it. And believe it or not, man, it happened and it sent me in different directions and led to where I'm at right now.
Talk to me about that. That's incredible because we know about the background with the music career, and now you're telling me that kind of the concept of R-Quick turning into R-Truth down the line was to be that character that kind of had a foot in both worlds. But, and I've always said the best characters aren't characters. The best characters are characters that are based on real life stories, stuff that people have a passion in. So talk to me a little bit about how that bleed over from wanting to be a rap star and really being forward moving in that direction, how that bled over into R-Truth, the professional wrestler that has all these cool moments that all kind of have that crossover.
When I first started wrestling, that's the first thing I did. I was rapping to the ring. Music and wrestling goes together like a hand in glove, man, like ham and burger, peanut butter and jelly, you know what I'm saying? Like it goes together. So the first time I was accepted, man, coming to the ring to wrestle, I was rapping. So that pretty much gave me that faith of a mustard seed that this could work. You know what I'm saying? It bled over to the fact of the What's Up song is sung worldwide. You can go to Egypt. You can go to anywhere you want to go to. You can pick on the map that I've been around the world, and they know my music. That was just the start of lighting the fuse of everything bleeding over into the real. Now wrestling is becoming a part of just music, and now I'm loving this. This is what it accepted me. Wrestling took a hold of me, man, and I became that. Musically, I became that. A lot of what you see R-Truth on TV, a lot of what you feel, that's really genuine me.
You know, Rob and I both are musicians, and how's that? Which feels bigger to you? The fact that they're all singing your song, or they know who you are through wrestling, or is it kind of the same thing?
It's the same thing. Because think about it. Even if you're just a wrestling fan and you're not a music fan, the music is what you hear first, and it sets the pace. Whether you hear that dong, you know that's the Undertaker. You hear that glass break, you know that's Austin. You know what I'm saying? Can you smell? You know, it sets the pace. You know what I'm saying? If you're a music fan, you're naturally gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? I think every character's music should fit that character. And once it does, man, everything else after that, it just blossoms.
All right. Recently, you had an injury. You're out for a while, and then you come back and you get told you got this little bitty thing. How are you, R-Truth, able to take just this little part that you get here or there and turn it into something that blows up every time?
Man, you got to stay hungry. You got to eat. You got to eat opportunity. You got to eat optimism. You got to eat any and everything out there that gives you a chance. I don't care if it's for that second. If I got a second to do what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that second be what more everybody talk about. I'll make that second be what makes me feel the best. That, you know what I'm saying? So you have to stay hungry.
I have called you for many years now, and some of the stuff you've been doing lately, and it goes way, way back. I have said you are simultaneously the funniest guy in the history of this business, but also a damn good wrestler who puts on performances. It's not like it's I'm going to come out here and make some people laugh. I'm going to come out here and make people laugh, tell a story. And when it's time to get in the ring and go, I'm going to get in the ring and go. That has been tough for guys to kind of find that balance. There's some guys who get stuck more on one side or the other, and very few that can blend it as well as you have. How do you make sure that you stay so well-rounded that when it's time to put on a show at a big-time premium live event, or it's time to get on screen and have a laugh with Tom and Nick Mysterio, that you're able to throw those lines out and stay so well-rounded?
Stay ready, so you got to get ready. I like I said, I got a gym upstairs, man. I'm always at it. The me making people laugh, making people feel good, that's natural. I think everybody wants to feel good. It's just some people have that gift or that thing that can bring it out or make you want to let it loose. You know what I'm saying? Let your hair down. The physical part of it is just staying at it, man. Like I really believe. Like I walk around, I ask my son, man, he's playing basketball at Penn State. Like, where did the time go? Because I still see you as, you know what I'm saying, cutting the grass with me. Like, I still feel like I'm in my late 20s, man, early 30s. I still think that I ain't never had a birthday party before.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's another day. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I think that's a whole different subject. But
So there are compilation videos out there of you getting other wrestlers to break. Has there been a wrestler, because you've been in it a long time, has there been one guy or girl that you could not break no matter how hard you tried?
No.
Yes.
That's
No.
the answer I wanted right there.
No, man. Everybody, I don't care how hard of a shell they put on the outside, everybody wants to laugh and feel good. Because that's a rush that we can't get nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's naturally given to us. Everybody wants to do it. It's just a matter of when you can bring it out of them.
Is there a level of pride in that to you? Like when you're, especially if you're, let's say, cutting a promo in the back and you say something, you're up on the Tron and you hear the whole audience laugh, or if you're in the ring with somebody like Damien, who's just got this big, badass, never laugh personality, and you see him have to turn away from the camera, he's going to break. Is that like a moment where you're like, bam, still got it? Like I'm him?
Oh, yes. And sometimes it's like, I don't know if I want to keep bringing it on, keep pouring it on, or I let them break a little bit. But like, okay, once I know I got you, I can get you anytime. Then you know what I'm saying. So like, there's times he's like, "Bro, I'm glad you didn't say that. Then I'm glad you didn't say that." Word. Like, yes.
All right. So I told my daughter that we were interviewing you, and she texted me and she said that I had to ask you how little Jimmy is doing today, and does he have a family, or what's going on with little Jimmy?
Jimmy's doing good, man. He's away at camp. He's at this camp, man. For he was getting in a lot of trouble, man. So he's at a camp for trouble youth, man.
How much when you have these ideas like that? I mean, these things are stuff that for a lot of guys could be throwaway, and for R-Truth, we're still talking about stuff you were doing 10, 12 years. First off, how do you come up with ideas? And second off, have you gotten to a point where you can go and just say, hey, I'm saying what I want, I'm doing what I want because it works every time? Like, have you earned that in your career, in your spot?
Yes, they let me get, let's say, a lot of stuff. And another guy, we got Rob Fee, man, at NXT. I love him. He's like my other part of my brain, man. So it's like they trust me with saying and come up with a lot of stuff because like if it's funny to me, I know they're gonna laugh at it. And it's I'm best when it's just not given to me, but when it just happens, a spur of the moment type thing. That's when it's the best.
R-Truth, WWE legend here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. You're going to be here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming up on Sunday for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits game. It is Pro Wrestling Day, and I will tell you, R-Truth, I'm going to take credit because this past season, I worked for this team as well. They're like, hey, we need theme nights. What should we do? And I said, if you do a pro wrestling night, it's going to go crazy. All right. Just trust me on this. I haven't seen anybody else do it. They texted me a week ago. They said, we think we got R-Truth coming. I said, this thing's going to pop off. I love when I see this business. I call it art. When this art bleeds over and it starts to show other people how much fun it can be when you get to do stuff like you're going to do Sunday at the Swamp Rabbits game and be an ambassador for WWE, for professional wrestling, and kind of bring that to other worlds. What's that mean to you?
It's an honor. I take pride in it, man, because WWE, we give people that roller coaster ride that you need. It separates from any other world, any other life that you can walk and live that you're gonna naturally have to go back and do anyway. This right here, man, it sends you away.
I love it. This is have you been this close to a hockey? I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be standing down on the ice with me. We're gonna be out there having a good time. Have you been this close to a hockey game? You a hockey guy?
Yeah, I've been to a hockey game. I've been to a hockey game with the Checkers here.
Yeah.
In, Charlotte, yeah. So this will be my second hockey game, man. And I'm really looking forward to coming and watching the game.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait. It's going to be
and
awesome.
meeting the people, too. Y'all need to come on out.
They will. Listen, I go, like I said, I work these games. There's a couple thousand people every game. I know this one is going to be absolutely packed to come meet you, R-Truth, to come watch the Swamp Rabbits play. We're going to have some clips of you up on the board to hype up the crowd and all that, man. It's going to be a great Sunday.
Can little Jimmy come?
Hell yeah, little Jimmy can come. I'm going to see if I can get him a jersey made, too.
Please do that. Yes, yes.
Will they let him out of the camp for a weekend? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He'll ride the bus.
All right, cool.
The bus. R-Truth
ride the
joining us
bus.
here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits Professional Wrestling Day at their matchup. That game is going to be on Sunday. Puck's going to drop about 2:30. R-Truth's going to be there, man. It is awesome to have you on the show, bud. We appreciate it. Great stuff.
Oh, man, it's awesome to be on the show, man. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on there.
Absolutely. We'll do it again. R-Truth here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. We got to run to a break. We're back after this. Stick around. It is the Fan Upstate. All right. Sorry about the audio issues there, guy.
See, here's the problem. Normally you would go to an expert in the building about this thing, but we are the experts in the building about this thing. And so there's just some things that we need to work out because we don't do this very often. But the video will be posted soon. Yep. Rob's going to post the video so you can watch the entirety of it. Also, kids, in the midst of things that could possibly go wrong, always have a backup plan.
Yep.
Download the Odyssey app and search The Fan Upstate. Then listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your sports flash on The Fan Upstate.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
We will brainstorm after the show and determine that it was my fault. And then we'll figure out a way, other than firing me, hopefully, to make sure next time that doesn't happen.
Here's hoping, because I hate hosting and producing.
It really comes down to not really doing it before. And usually we get to have people live. So. Rob Brown Show, what do you want to talk about? All right, hang on. All right, we got time. It's Mongo. Remember, they have Heath Slater coming in, the wrestling local.
The Rob Brown Show continues. Thank you very much to the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, to WWE, Miss Stephanie, our GOAT, as far as making sure we get these ladies and gentlemen in here to talk wrestling with us. We appreciate them. Wrestling night this Sunday with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It is going to be at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Game's actually just after 2 p.m., and I will be there. I'll be there emceeing it. Can't wait. Obviously, going to be on a mic with R-Truth. Are you kidding me? How much better can life get, man? My dude, Mongo, kind enough to jump in on the Renewal by Anderson to the Carolina fan phone. Let's talk to Mongo. What's up, fella?
What's up, gentlemen? Hey, I just wanted to call in and give another promotion for the big show tonight. We are sold out, man. Heath is going to be at the Asylum at 122 Builders Court in Bowling Springs, South Carolina. We are packed to the rafters, man, and we're going to be opening up at 6 for a meet and greet with Heath. He's going to have the I Got Kids shirts. He'll be signing them and stuff like that. So what we were doing is we were charging, because he is a big name, we were charging $20 for front row and $15 for general admission. So to your listeners, what I have in my hand right here is 5 collector's tickets that'll be general admission to this sold out show tonight that I will offer for $10 a piece to any of your listeners that want to call. And if you want to, I can give Lonzo my phone number and they can shoot me a text.
Here's what I'm going to say, Mongo. Unfortunately, we can't do that. What I can let you do real quick is if you want to give folks your Twitter handle, I can let them reach directly out to you.
So my Twitter handle is @MarlerChris, MarlerChris. It comes up as Mongo. Don't do Chris Marler, because that takes you to that guy from Saturday Down South. He doesn't deserve to have my name, but that's another story. But yeah, it's going to be a great show tonight, man. They can hit me up on Twitter, direct message me. I can give them the information where to get these tickets. It's a $5 discount on the show tonight, and it's 5 seats, man. It's going to be a big show. We got a world title match, Caleb Crocker versus our champion, Tyler Storm. We got 8 just action-packed matches, as well as Heath is wrestling with the legend George South, and BNB, a local legend, against the show, which is our heel faction that we've got. So it's going to be fun, man.
Love it. Love it. Mongo, good luck with the gig tonight, man. Appreciate you calling in, letting folks know about it. Nothing like supporting some wrestling, man. Some local wrestling. That's where it's at. Always has been. One of the most pure art forms. Don't at me. All right. Thanks again to Stephanie. Thanks again to the folks over at WWE for making that happen. And thanks, of course, to R-Truth for not just taking the time, but for coming down to support some local hockey, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. We very much appreciate it. What's the takeaway from that other than R-Truth is my guy? I have not stopped saying, Lonzo, what's up since yesterday at about, 10:45 p.m.
All I can say is high school and preteen me never would have believed for a moment that you get the opportunity to interview people like R-Truth. And I gotta say, out of all the wrestlers we've interviewed, he is the guy who was the most comfortable interview.
Easy, not even a question. You brought it up before we even pushed record on the stream monitor. Before we even pushed record, he had an audio issue. It happens to the best of us.
It never happens here.
He forgot to turn his microphone on. That was the audio issue. He forgot to turn his mic on.
And Stephanie said, "Truth, turn your mic on." It was great. It was perfect. Yeah. It was so
and
good.
He just started dying laughing. We all did. It was great.
And then Rob's like, "That's some pretty interesting artwork you got behind you." And he didn't know what was on the wall, and he had to turn around and look at it.
He said, "This is how often I'm home." It was great, man. Phenomenal interview. We appreciate that greatly. And during Greenville Swamp Rabbits, it is wrestling night on Sunday. It's actually, I should call it's wrestling afternoon.
So if you're someone who's never been to a Swamp Rabbits game, how do you go about getting tickets to go see this?
SwampRabbits.com. SwampRabbits.com is the website. You can get your tickets there, or just come to the well and pick up tickets at the box office. It's old school, man. It's hockey. It's like that. All right, come to the barn. You can grab your ducats at the box office and get in.
Is Truth going to be on skates?
I can't imagine, but I would pay money.
It's probably in his contract that he can't do that. But I can't wait to hear the stories of you getting to talk to him off the mic.
It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
And could you do me a favor though? And I'm sorry, I should have asked you this off the air, but I didn't. Could you get me little Jimmy's autograph?
I will do my best.
Okay.
I assume it is going to look remarkably like a John Cena picture.
That's fine.
Can't see it.
I've got a wall full of Cena pictures, and I love every single one. So getting a little Jimmy autograph, I could share with my family because they're all interested in that too, and that would be really, really cool.
No, it's gonna be a phenomenal time. Gonna be a lot of fun. Absolutely cannot wait. We will see, hopefully, some of you guys on Sunday.
All right, time to ask what the X is going on, and Rob is going to let you know what it is because he knows. The first thing that's Xing yo is hashtag moon landing.
I saw this trending earlier today, and I'm terrified I missed like a really cool science tweet
So you don't
that kicked this off.
You don't know what happened yesterday.
I mean, obviously we had the solar flare that wiped out cell phone service around the world for a little while. And then this, I don't know if that triggered this or what.
No, there actually was a landing, on the moon
Not
yesterday.
us, obviously. I'm assuming either.
Are you sure? It depends on what you consider us.
I mean, I consider us all members of the world, Lonzo.
So maybe if you consider America.
Here's what I did. I clicked on it. Odysseus landed yesterday. I thought it landed this weekend. Okay, so Odysseus landed is the first U.S. moon landing in over half a century at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, first U.S. moon landing in over half a century, which is dope.
Some would say it's the first one, period.
Yeah, and those people are wrong.
You guys like
They're
Dan
idiots.
Aykroyd and those people.
They're idiots. And I can love an idiot. Okay, I can love an idiot.
I don't know why you looked at me when you said that.
I wasn't looking at you. I was looking because I clicked on moon landing, and it's like 10 cool tweets about Odysseus, and then like 50 tweets from people who are like, the flag was waving on the moon. It's not real.
It was waving on the moon. I mean, according to the video. I mean, it was straight out, which it would do once you said, I mean, it's not going to, there's nothing to stop it unless you put your hand up there and stop it.
It was
Because
not
that's
moving so much as the pole moved, and because there's no air resistance to stop the flag, it just
no
kept
gravity
going
and-
back and forth.
Yeah.
There is gravity. It's just dramatically less gravity than you find on planet Earth because there's less mass. Mass, of course, bends space-time around it, creating a gravity well. And the more mass there is to an object, the more other objects feel that curvature of space and time around its mass. So the moon being obviously less massive, which is where that word comes from, than planet Earth, you still feel the bend in space-time around the object, but it's not as deep of a bend in space-time. Therefore, you don't feel the gravitational pull. You actually, and I'm talking to you as in everyone, you all also create your own gravity. This is true. You actually, as a gravitational object, pull on the sun. It's just you're so far less massive than the sun that it's a negligible impact.
All right, I had all kinds of fun cuts to play there, but you called me massive several times there, and I know. All right,
we're all
so I'm working on it. You know,
We're all massive.
just because I'm sturdy doesn't mean I want to be. The next thing that's Xing is Superman Legacy.
I got nothing. Is there a game coming out?
No, it's
Movie?
the movie.
Was that the new movie?
Yeah, which starts filming next week, and they put a group picture out
I'm
that
gonna
looks
have to
pretty
listen
cool.
to somebody scream Martha again.
Oh, stop
like
it!
that was this great cinematic
Stop
moment.
being a DC hater. You know
Martha.
that the entire cinematic universe is being remade.
Two ladies have the same name, and that obviously means that we will get along now.
All right, I get you're mad at me about the audio snafu. I mean, it's not all right to stop coming at me, yo. The next thing that's trending is WWE 2K24.
So there's a ton of DLC coming out for the game, and I'm gonna assume it's got something to do with that. We've seen another.
It's more trending for a couple people you can't play as.
Who can't you play as that's big enough to be trending? Undertaker's in the game. Steve?
Why is that not playing?
I don't know. You broke it. See, everything's broke today, man.
Yeah, everything's broke. Okay, I was playing the "You're Fired" cut.
Shocking that that guy has been culled from digital existence.
Also, a Barack. You cannot play as Barack.
Again,
Yeah, so-
absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Just mind blowing.
So the game looks cool. We got a copy of 23. Wasn't it 23 the copy
We did
had?
get a copy.
And that was a lot of fun to play with. We haven't got 24 yet, but doesn't mean we don't want it downstairs.
Yeah,
And
anybody in listening.
just
Nobody
maybe,
in particular.
yeah, maybe your name has 3 letters in it. Yeah, starts with an R. The next thing that is Xing is Nick Nemeth.
That's Dolph, right?
It
the
used
artist
to
formerly
be.
known
Yeah.
as Dolph
yeah,
Ziggler.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you've already scratched him. I know Matt Riddle.
Oh
won a New
no, I'm
Japan
I'm
title.
gonna do that in conjunction,
Oh,
but
okay,
because
they're
I had
both New Japan champs now.
yes they are.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Good. I appreciate Dolph Ziggler. Dolph still doesn't get credit for who and what he was. Dolph was maybe the greatest seller in the history of the game. Like it never Shawn Michaels over exaggerated to the point where it was annoying. You know,
He and Vicky were pretty cringeworthy though.
wasn't it great?
Yeah,
Was
and
it great?
It's not as cringeworthy as Vicky and Edge, but still pretty cringeworthy.
James said, "Our moms are both named Martha. We can't fight anymore." That was literally the hook of that movie.
DC
They
haters.
were so
DC. It was not the hook. Watch the extended. It was not. It was all. It was all.
Your mom's name's my mom. Now we have to be friends.
It was all about Darkseid's spell on the entire planet, and that's the thing that broke the spell.
If any of y'all out there have a mom named Rhonda, just know we're BFFs now.
That's probably true.
We're
though.
totes besties.
Yeah. Okay.
Because of Rhonda.
Why don't you just end the show, man? I just want to go home.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. For Alonso, my name's Rob. We'll see you back here Monday to do it all over again, but better on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Yeah! Oh, man.
Well, maybe you should go spend some time with Tim Snow, and you guys can talk about how much you hate DC.
I don't hate DC. I hate bad movies. There's a difference.
So, according to some people, DC never made a good movie, so you hate DC.
First Wonder Woman movie was great.
1984 sucked.
1984 sucked. Thank you for acknowledging it.
Oh, I recognize when it's a bad movie. Batman vs. Superman was not a bad movie.
It was not a good movie.
It was not a bad movie.
It was not a good movie.
It's not a bad movie.
You'll notice he won't say it's a good movie.
I thought it was a great movie.
It was not a great movie.
But I am a DC
It is
fan.
objectively not a great movie.
Well, that is your opinion, and I do not share that opinion.
All right, dudes and dudettes, I'm going to go post that video. It'll be up here in just a few moments. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Enjoy it. Come see us for Wrestling Night Sunday if you're going to be around. We'll see you then. Have a great one. Goodbye.